We find ourselves in a vibrant land filled with pristine ecosystems, plentiful wildlife, and many rival tribes. But this land holds secrets of special masks one can obtain that grants one unique powers and the ability to swap bodies. No! No, 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 no! We ride together, we die together. Geronimo! Disclaimer, the developers themselves actually sponsored this adventure, so I did get to play before the game's full release, so any bugs that I come across do not represent the release version of the game. So as we get to experience an early version of the game, I have some things on my to-do list, which are to experience the game's unique mechanics, explore its vast map, unlock some new masks, and face 3 bosses, being the Saber-tooth, Fog Frog, and Vajra Ape. All of that within 100 days. Hey, 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 my lovelies, I am your humble ringmaster, Crowmeda, and say it with me now, let the show begin! First things first, we have to make our character. Sure, there are limited options, but we still get to have fun with it.
Look at our boy. We're so skinny and crunchy.
A mask then came into view. As I picked it up, it shattered and merged onto my face, bringing up the mask customization screen. Of course, I chose the bird-styled mask as it matches that of my persona and colored it accordingly. Each mask does give a unique list of skills, and long story short, this mask will benefit me as an archer, but there are plenty more that we can uncover. Spawning into the world, I was excited to see what's to come. It's around noonish, which might give us just enough time to get our bearings. First thing I noticed is that I'm able to detect life, showing me the info of the nearby tapirs. By harvesting some of these bushes, I see that it levels up my harvesting proficiency. This is the case for all resource types. I then gather some branches and stones from the ground into my inventory, which seems pretty simple and clean, though I'm a bit confused where this broth came from, but I'm not complaining. Good soup. The map is freaking huge, by the way. I think I'll make my way to the nearest ruins next to this lake. I'm assuming that I'm going to need a water source, so that might be a good place to hunker down for the night. On my way, I get a gorgeous view of the surrounding jungle, and I gotta say, the graphics are amazing. Even spotted what seems to be a temple in the distant fog. Another menu that I found is the hunting tab. Seems the more creatures that I slay, the more buffs I get to my hunting related skills. Down this slope, I stumbled upon a ruin hidden in the thick foliage. We've arrived at our destination, but it's guarded by outcasts, so I hesitantly approach them.
Hi, guys! Oh, I don't like... Okay, the fact... Oh, no. The fact that your eye symbol went up in red and you started charging me let me know everything I needed to know. Goodbye, have a great time, and I'll see you around.
As I'm running away, I do want to let y'all know that the game just recently went into early access, so be sure to get your hands on the game with the link down below, and enjoy, my lovelies. My escape led me to a stream with a super chill capybara. What's up, how you doing, my guy? At sundown, I reached the lake, giving me a gorgeous view of the area. Looks like I found some prime real estate. On the map, there's a question mark symbol, piquing my interest. Turns out, it was an ancient ruin.
Oh, it's just tapirs. Oh, what? Why are you guys mad? Oh boy. Okay, the tapirs are mad. I repeat, they are the guardians of the ruins.
From a safe distance, I use my detection skill to see that these are labeled as insane at these ruins, but that just sounds like a fancier way of saying rabies if you ask me. Note that you can swim, although it is terrifying at night. Can't see a darn thing. Also, here's where I noticed the guide on the left side of my screen that will help me forward. By opening the Knowledge and Technology tab, I unlocked the campfire, and I did want to place it, however, a bit further from those tapirs. So I swam across the lake. Luckily, all limbs still intact, no crocs or piranhas just yet, and here the campfire was placed and lit. I cooked up my first meal too, locusts on a stick. Hearty and nutritious. Even helps my HP stat.
Bugs.
Next, I learned how to craft some stone tools and basic survival gear, like water bottles and thatched structures. Wait, this is feeling strangely familiar. Where are the raptors? A whole set of stone tools was prepared, alongside some rope made out of some vines, and let's get some thatch foundations and walls made, and presto, a simple square hut. This will keep me dry from the rain that's pulled on over. And to end off the day, in order to defend myself, I unlocked the bow and linen clothing. Day 2 began with mining some rocks, chopping some wood, and gathering some bushes. An important thing that I learned is upon leveling up, I can improve my character by putting points into these here stats. There's also a tab for proficiencies for basically every action in the game, as well as masteries for all of your weapons, so this is getting quite in depth. My level up points got put into perception, physique, and endurance, making me level 11, and since my mask should be good with bows, I crafted one up with some arrows. After that, linen was made with fiber, so I easily crafted a whole linen set, although some items come out at different tiers, white being common and orange-brown being epic. The stone bead necklace improves my HP and attack, so I got that too. And there we go, we are fully clothed and armed, but not dangerous, not yet. Just give it some time. And of course, we need some healing items, so I got some bandages made, as my next task is to hunt down wild animals. So it's hunting season, everybody. Our first target to try my bow on would be this here bush dog. Unsuccessfully at first though, as no arrows would draw.
Ow! Get off of me! Ooh, I could climb. That's actually pretty sweet.
Now, having learned to add the arrows to the bow, I managed to shoo off the beast by peppering its rear with arrows, and it fled into the bush from whence it came, but I tracked it down and slayed the beast. Seems like you can even track the stats of your prey with this nifty menu. I proceeded to butcher it, violently I might add, and took in the scenery once more. That sure is beautiful. With the meat in hand, I returned to my hut and cooked it up.
This shall sustain me nicely.
Next, I need to learn the bonfire to mark my tribe's territory, so logically, it's going to need a lot of logs, so with a couple trees cut down, got the bonfire placed, and this here prevents structure decay and serves as a respawn point.
Whoa. What? Hello? Vagabond ran across your base. She wants to team up with you. Okay. Sure. Level 24? Hello?
Our clan is growing rapidly, and what's cool is she's even higher level than me, and I can sort the items on her inventory. In the clan tab, we can see her dancing around the fire. Her tab shows an assortment of skills, likes, and dislikes. In this case, she enjoys sunny days but feels uncomfortable around ostriches. Noted. What did the ostriches do to you? But our first tribe member needs a name, of course. Tina will do just fine. For the first refinement table, I got the carpentry table made, with a few more foundations down, placed the table at midnight. Day 3 began with some deforestation. Those logs were made into planks at the carpenter's table. Next up, I learned how to craft stone weaponry. Of them, I want the stone arrows, but I need flint, which I have yet to come across. Going back to Tina though, I noticed that she isn't particularly good in gathering or anything for that matter. And I'm already gonna let y'all know that all the NPCs you get into your tribe come out with a wide assortment of buffs, debuffs, likes, and dislikes to make everyone very unique. And you can send them out to work, but in this case, I hadn't figured it out just yet. So I guess I'll just look for that flint myself then. On my way, I found some eggs, which logically I looted for an omelet, but some bush dogs were chasing down a turkey, likely the mama of these eggs that I pouched. I would ignore this, but the bush dogs decided that I looked a tad tastier, so I jumped to safety on the top of this rock, from where I proceeded to take them out. This granted a lot of hide and other body parts, and turns out there's weight in this game. I am now encumbered. To remedy this, I made the thatch box to sort away any perishables on me. While gathering hardwood, I became incredibly encumbered yet again, which was a terrible time to do so, as I was attacked by a bush dog. This is where I found out the hard way that drawing an arrow gets cancelled when you get hit, so I had to whip out my butcher knife and just barely survived the attack. Most of the afternoon was then spent expanding the base, so first later in the day we got a more proper living quarters set up. To defend myself at close quarters, I learned the dual stone blades, but this is also going to require flint. So that is exactly what I set out to get as day 4 began. Lucky for me, a rock right next to my base got me that right off the rip, along with stone and gypsum. Another item that I got from breaking the stone was calaite, which is a colorful gem. Thanks to the flint and wooden handles that I got to make, the dual blades were crafted, which came out as excellent quality. No idea how my scrawny arms can hold these Kratos-styled blades, but I won't question it. Thanks to the calaite, I managed to craft a ring that improves my stats even further, and of course, we get some stone arrows crafted too. And accidentally made some stone lances alongside them. Next thing I learned was basic knowledge about slaughtering, as well as tanning hide for leather. Getting the tanning rack placed, I began to make rough leather. What I noticed in progression is my awareness strength is 14 at the moment. I need this to go up to learn higher tier blueprints. With some planks whipped up, I got a small wooden chest placed, which has more storage slots. And it seems I got copper ore, either from breaking those rocks or from looting outcasts, I'm not really sure. As I was hunting down this here turkey for some food, I noticed some hunters taking out some bush dogs. Turns out though it was the other way around, as the humans are no more. Quickly I jumped onto some rocks to avoid my ankles from being torn to shreds, and by taking out my attackers, increased my bow proficiency by quite a bit in the process, reaching level 20. The humans didn't leave much loot behind, but every bit counts.
Whoa. Whoa. Hello. A boar? Nope. No thanks. Oh boy.
The ambush was not by one, but by 2 boars, so I'm forever grateful that I chose to main the bow to start off to be safe. This game is vicious. I end up chasing down my prey, landing me in a face-to-face scenario with them.
Whoa, hello. Actually, melee is not bad. Hold the phone. I think I have a change of heart going on here.
I then start prioritizing points into strength, not because melee is incredibly cool, but because it also improves my load capacity. Better armor is needed, so I unlock the leather gear, but to make it, I need the armor forging table and some processed supplies. So we have some new goals to reach. In the evening, the building workshop was made, also a wall torch so I can actually see what I'm doing at night. In the workshop, I'm able to make the armor forging table, but I'm going to need a few more supplies. So I got these here water bottles made that I filled up at the lake, and these were needed to make tanning fluid, which let me make some leather. Day 5 began with gathering some resources in the early morning, and with those I got the loom placed down, where I want to make thin rope to get the armor station made, but I need beast fuzz or yarn to make it, and I have no clue how to get either of those. I regrettably tried to slay a capybara thinking it might drop beast fuzz, but man, they are incredibly fast, lean, mean, swimming machines one would say. I tracked it down into the forest, and the issue is they heal very fast. It was only thanks to corralling it into a corner that I got the kill. No fuzz though, sadly. So my next best bet is to make yarn, but for it, I need cotton. So we're off on an expedition for some. On my travels, I reached a swamp where I spotted a giant alligator, which of course I needed to poke. It does have a lunge attack, so I really need to watch my step. And surprisingly, this scale mountainsides, so I almost died, had to recover for a sec after, and poked it a second time from a safe spot. But I might be a little bit in over my head, as this beast has an insane amount of health. I don't think I can beat this, but it does serve as target practice to level up my bow proficiency.
Oh, whoa. Oh, oh, I'm out of stamina. It regained all its health. It regained all its health. Don't you dare jump up here. I need my torch. Ah! Ah! Back I say! Back I say, foul demon!
No thank you. I had some flashbacks of some capros there, so let's cautiously continue our expedition at night. And looky here, there's some interesting shrooms. Into my pocket you shall go. On top of this cliff, I spotted an enemy encampment. My current objective in the guide is to bring a barbarian to my camp. So, perfect. These barbarians are quite strong though, so I do need to be careful.
Whoa. Holy. Dude. Why are you so strong? Why are you so strong? Come back here. I am not done with you. Okay, melee isn't too bad, actually. Like, sure, I need to watch out for my health here. But, there you go. That's one down. That's not too... Oh, there's a person right by me. What's up? I have a stab attack, which is pretty cool. I think I cause bleed. Oh, I'm out of stamina. Oh, no, I can't move. What is happening to me? I'm just... What? What is going... Oh, what? What was that? I was just floating in the air. Okay, that's fine.
I respawned back at my base close to midnight and began to make my way back to my death bag. Arriving on day 6, I snuck my way into the camp, grabbed my loot, and booked it on out of there, chased by the barbarians. Once they backed off, I was able to resume my assault, dispatching them soon after. With one weakened, I did attempt to use the deter ability, which is needed to enlist them into your new tribe, but I failed. It was either me or them at this point. The loot was exciting though. Got some sunstones, silver ore, and green crystals, which are needed to upgrade your mask. Before engaging with a nearby ruin, I unlocked the mask interface module, which reduces my mask common energy consumption by 5%, the common overclock, which increases the mask upgrade speed by 50%, and projectile adjustment, which makes my arrows 10% more precise. Finished. I then approached the ruins, and seeing that the tapers are level 2, I made quick work of them. Inside, I discovered an ancient relic, and when opened, I received more sunstones, green crystals, and some crustacean shells. Most of these ruins will give exactly this, just a different assortment of animal parts. Considering I've been leveling up, I took a look back at the leatherworking section and spotted that you can make saddles, so it looks like taming's back on the menu. And let's also learn some breeding pens, traps, and feed to go along with it. My travels for cotton led me to clearing out 2 more ancient ruins, the unique loot from which were claws and sharp horns. And with the sun setting rapidly, I made my way on over to the nearest beach, and goodness gracious me, that is a breathtaking view. This did let me have a glimpse of how big this world truly is. I was then just adding some more points into strength when I saw that I am now a beginner level hunter, buffing my slaughtering speeds. I also learned what masteries are. The more you use one of the listed weapons, the better skills you unlock with them. In the late evening, I did spot a little barbarian camp and went to go say hello. They do not appear to be aggressive, so I weakened one quickly, but I don't have enough mask power to deter, it seems. With a quick examination, I saw that sunstones refill the mask. So the next day, I made my way back for another attempt, and it takes me a few tries, but eventually it did work.
Finally, I got it to work. There we go. Knocked you unconscious there, huh? Okay. This works, I guess.
I was excited, as there was soup in their box, which I placed into the outcast's inventory. This began the recruiting process, and once finished, I chose to name her Tiffany. While trying to figure out how to assign her work, more outcasts spawned at this camp, so I then despawned them, if you catch my drift. It did end up taking me a very long time to figure out how to command our new member, but at last I figured it out. By clicking deploy on your tribe's people, you get a command list on the left side of your screen, so with that knowledge, I then have her follow me. I was also glad to see that Tiffany packs a good punch and assists me in combat. Together we make our way towards some mysterious ruins and obliterate anything that breathed along the way.
Look, Mom, I'm an airplane.
Cautiously we approach the ruins. We just might have what it takes to get in, although with Tiffany on our side, nothing can go wrong. From the safety of the cliffside, we begin our assault, swiftly defeating the front guard, and then made our way in.
Tiffany, go! You got this, Tiffany! There's one behind you, watch out! Oh, this guy's level 10. Ow! Tiffany smash! Good job. Ooh, legendary stone greatsword. Hello.
In the back, I found an odd pedestal, which when used unlocked the core functional module, which allows my mask to hold more energy, I think. This seemed to give the control node in the mask menu for free. Day 8 began with testing out that legendary greatsword, and it is a hefty boy indeed. Arriving home at daybreak, I thought that this area needs a name, so it shall be now known as Lazy Lagoon. A wooden chest got made as storage was becoming an issue. I then geared up my tribe, learned the repair and beast bone tools, and made some leather rope. Next I gathered some wood to make handles. These were used to craft the repair bench, albeit I do not have enough room for it. I did place it outside, and with that accidentally blocked the door, so I dismantled it and saw that it that way doesn't give all the resources back, so I had to regrind the resources, remade the bench, and set it down away from the base. At least repairing gear is incredibly easy and simple enough. I ended the day with some mask repairs and got the auxiliary functional module, which boosts crafting speed by 5%. Day 9 started off with some downpour, so I wanted to get Tina into the shack, but ended up possessing her.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. No way. Sure. Guess this is what they call a out-of-body experience or something. Like, what the heck is going on?
Even now, Tina is at a higher level than my main character, so I gave her all of the best items, for I am now Tina. But my priority now is covering the bonfire with a roof so my respawn point doesn't go unlit from the rain. As I'm building this new roof extension, I gotta say the rain does feel quite soothing. With the roof done, my main character will guard the base while I take Tina out for her first spin, Tiffany in tow. On my travels, I came across a monkey storage nest filled with fruit, so that's nice. Upon taking the fruit, I had a little idea. I chased the monkey down, landed the kill, but sadly no beast fuzz. My plan failed. A lesson was soon learned though, even the weakest creatures can be incredibly devastating. As I attacked a pack of bush dogs with the greatsword, the strikes missed, leaving my ankles exposed. No. This tragic event led to the demise of not just Tina, but also Tiffany. With them unable to be revived, I respawned onto my main character and made my way back quickly in hopes to get my items back before they despawn. It took several attempts to get my stuff back, having no weapons equipped, but finally managed to loot my stuff back, only to discover one of the dogs is level 19, and that does explain quite a lot. Fleeing the area with my gear, I soon came upon more outcasts and deterred a level 15 by the end of the day. To begin day 10, I put some soup into my soon-to-be traveling companion and looted the box at the camp. While waiting for my new friend, I unlocked the weapon crafting bench, bone weaponry, and the knowledge to make an earth kiln. Also, on the mask, I did repair the fighting memory unit 2 out of 3 times. It seems like there's a weapon called gauntlets, which should be boosted by this once I get one. Knowing that, I did the same for the bow, dual blades, and the sword, but was rudely interrupted by another outcast who was absolutely obliterated. Okay, this place started to relentlessly spawn in NPCs, but at least I got to deter level 13 in the process. With all that taken care of, I repaired the connection enhancement once, so now I can have more tribe members. Then I unlocked the hunting guide perk, so I should get more experience from slaying animals. Since this is taking quite a while, I proceeded to learn how to get better hide, as well as wooden building structures. I noticed though that this first outcast's recognition had stalled at 343. It needs to reach 500 to recruit successfully, but this is also when I was ambushed by another wave of NPCs, being knocked on all fours and perpetually beaten into the afterlife. After a couple of engagements, I did clear them out and decided that I would just concentrate on the second outcast, but saw that she also had the recognition bar stalled. I much later did learn how to fix this, but in this case scenario just chose to end off the day by putting these two out of their misery and just went back to Lazy Lagoon. Having now witnessed how brutal things can be, I came up with a plan on day 11, which is to recruit some lower level allies to help me out for starters.
What the f***? You guys are... that is terrifying! Leave me alone! And I'm dead.
Okay, so the plan did not go quite as expected, but they never really do they? Of the two, I managed to deter one of them, picked them up, and made the slow walk back home. The upside of this was that I noticed some copper ingots in my inventory, so that's cool, must have gotten that somewhere. At 10 in the morning, Timothy was ready to rumble. He would be coming with us to find our next recruits. We made our way to the nearest ruins and kindly asked them to be our friends.
Timothy, I wanted to deter that one. You didn't have to kill him. Timothy, what did you do? Oh, Timothy, I understand why you did that. My boy, you just wanted a better hammer. You know what? I can respect the hustle. Forget I said anything.
Timothy after that was ordered to just stay put, as there's a level 9 outcast that I want to befriend.
No, not Timothy! No, Timothy, don't do it! Did it work? I don't know if she's dead. Timothy!
We then set course to a place known as the Northern Rainforest Scout, just to see what we could find there. A cool feature that this game has is that you can climb up almost every surface like Spider-Man, though Timothy does not share this talent. Reaching our destination before midnight, we saw that it is a barbarian encampment with their own personal bush dog.
Timothy, I have a mission for you.
We then launched our attack at the midnight hour.
Oh, I didn't even have to say anything. He's going in. Guns blazing. He is my tank. Here we go. Deter a level 15. Done. Don't you dare kill him. There we go. Okay. Don't you dare touch that level 15, Timothy. I swear to God, I'm gonna smack you.
Having successfully deterred one of the barbarians, I then looted the camp, getting tin ore and bone lances. Having learned from last time, I did end up picking up this new recruit, carried her over to a safer location as rain begins to fall. With the wait ahead of us, I took a look into her inventory and was excited to see she has a bone bow and beast claw gauntlets. These weapons were better than mine, so your boy had to swap them out. The gauntlets look sick, resembling saber-tooth boxing gloves. After that, I took some time for learning. Unlocked pottery, which led to learning something called mask technique. Seems you can decorate it or something like that. And then I repaired the transfer node on the mask. Seems like I can have more than just one. Next, I learned to deter enhance, which increases recognition speed, perfect for what we're doing right now. I then repaired the combat instinct node, which helps identify enemies faster with my scan. My life perception is on a much broader scale, as you can see, because of it. Sadly, the recognition was frozen in place yet again, and I hadn't figured out how to solve this yet, and I really didn't want to abandon this ally, so I simply picked her up and began our journey back home. But here's where I noticed that the camp had respawned, and, well, I'm all for free loot.
Timothy, help! What are you doing? Why are you just throwing knives? Use your main weapon. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, that is level 19. Oh, dear Lord. Go, Timothy! Wow! Brother! Timothy slayed at level 19! Bro, we could have gotten that one on our team, huh? How about you don't crack too many skulls there, Mr. Champion, Mr. Rambo. Dear Lord.
With that activity finished, we continued our merry way home, noble soldier in tow. A safe drop spot was being blocked by a pack of boars allied with a large anaconda, so cautiously I scouted for another spot, leading me to be in a little bit of a pickle, as Timothy would not follow me down, rightfully so, as it was a large drop-off below me. Not even orders would make him budge. Poor decision-making continues to surprise me as I leap down, only to knock myself down in the process. Timothy likely scoffed, knowing that that would have happened. To my surprise, I can out-heal my downstate spamming bandages, so that's pretty cool. Another rough spot comes as my character is tired, meaning stamina is halved. With no way to rest here, I must meet my end in hopes of returning to retrieve my allies. Dying willingly to some boars nearby, I respawned back home. Luckily, the location of my death is not too far, and so I made my way on back. Sneakily, I retrieved back my items, but discovered that my deterred ally has despawned. With her, the items that I placed into her inventory. Mainly, the sad thing is my dual blades are now gone. Ending the day, I took on the boars. They fled, but I reached level 20 awareness strength, which allows for many upgrades to come. Day 13 begins with me now trying to get Timothy down from this dang drop cliff. I didn't know at this point that if they follow you, if you just run away far enough, they eventually appear next to you. After a few attempts, we pulled it off and at dawn reached the lazy lagoon together. Here I worked on the mask a little bit more by repairing Sync Enhance for a big recognition improvement, and then also unlocked the planting, logging, and mining node, as well as the processing for wood and stone. And yes, anytime I would have free leftover green crystals, I would spam them into the crafting or processing of materials so I don't have to repeat myself constantly. I did have to relog this day around noontime because I had a ton of IRL stuff to do, and by the time I logged back to continue this day recording, turns out my door is gone and the base is decaying, so I had to relight the bonfire because apparently that just protects all the stuff you build. I spent the rest of the afternoon just repairing my gear and crafted more arrows. I then spent the entire night gathering wood for the bonfire. There shall be eternal light. The next day began with preparing Timothy's gear, and at dawn, we headed on out to the same bandit camp from the days before. Reaching the camp, Timothy and I got to work.
Oh, Timothy is down? Wait, what? Timothy, I'm coming for you. Oh, to rescue him. Boy. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Oh, the ankle biter. Oh, Timothy's up. Let's go. Oh, this is the level 15. Don't kill her, Tiffany. Timothy. No. Timothy, I'm really glad that you're still with us, but you need to calm down just a wee bit.
Timothy continued to be an absolute menace to society, obliterating everyone in his path yet again. I kind of really wanted to, enlist one of the people here, but I guess I got some stone blades, so that's cool. I then waited for them to respawn. In that time, I unlocked some food-related recipes and learned the art of farming. Getting impatient, we then explored around, discovering jaguar tracks. Logically, I scanned the area, and I see it attacking boars. Curiosity got the better of me as I tracked it for a while longer until it was at this ledge. Logically, I had to poke it, so I engaged.
Oh my gosh, that is a lot of health. Okay, so as long as you just stay up there and you don't pay heed to us, then we should be fine. So incredibly fine, but you do heal so much health. This might actually be our ticket to victory if we can just spam this with arrows.
It took the arrows like a champ. At one point it said vigilance on. No idea what that means, but the beast was defeated and harvested at midnight. But little did I know, all future encounters with these would be an absolute nightmare. To kick off day 15, we attempted to raid the bandit camp once more. I successfully interrogated the captain of the camp, getting tons of information about the surrounding area.
Timothy, seriously, You need to chill. Timothy, that is the last straw. That is the last straw.
So clearly, Timothy has some serious issues. Until now, they only benefited me, so I'm not gonna say anything. With the successful interrogation, much of the fog on the map has been lifted. We see a mysterious portal on the map, along with a copper mine of the Claw tribe, and lastly, an ancient pyramid which requires an awareness strength of 20 to explore. The guardian of it is a Saber-tooth that has first boss written all over it. Encumbered, we set off back home, depositing the loot, and simply sorted everything as needed. Afternoon, we set out for the Western Rainforest Scout. This would be a very long journey. At sundown on my travels, I spotted yet another jaguar, but was smart enough to not engage this time. Last time we got nothing special, so I'm not going to risk Timothy. Later in the day, under the darkness of night, having now found the camp, we headed straight on in.
Timothy, did you kill the scout?
Sadly, Timothy obliterated the scout before I knew what happened, so I simply looted the camp and waited for the respawn, but in this time ended up slaying some animals, which led my awareness strength to increase to 21. Here I unlocked the Bronze Pit Bonfire, which also unlocks the entire Bronze tab. Here I unlocked the Furnace, Tools, and the next stage of the Tannery at midnight. With enough animals slayed, I reached mask level 5 on day 16. This allowed me to unlock poison injection for my arrows, as well as upgrading my cooking to stage 3 and deter enhance to stage 2. It was at dawn when the enemies respawned, and for this attempt though, I would have Timothy sit this out unless I desperately needed him.
Oh, Timothy! 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 Up!
I managed to get one of the enemies out of the way, followed by their bush dog, and then began my interrogation of the scout. Eventually, the information of the Western Rainforest was obtained.
Timothy, execute.
To our surprise, this place has everything we could have asked for.
Oh. Oh! Cotton seeds! Bro!
Even looted this massive hammer, and logically it was given to Timothy because that's his specialty. This increases his damage from 35 to 63. Of the newly discovered map, the main key point that was uncovered is the tin ore pit of the Flint tribe. We then left the camp, headed straight towards the beach, which truly is a sight for sore eyes, but not only did we see some delicious looking crabs here, but also a settlement down the shoreline. Seeing guards in the towers, I identified them as members of the Flint tribe. Having Timothy stay back, I go and try to have a chat with them. It does seem to be a salt production facility, and well, the guards are aggressive, yes indeed, so I called Timothy on over as we made our way for the hills. Having gained this knowledge, I chose to head home with my cotton seeds. I arrived at sunset, deposited the goods, and made some repairs. I also attempted to send Timothy to gather some wood, but he has much more important things to do.
What are you doing to me? He's throwing it down. Oh, look at him go! Ooh, kill him! Ooh, kill him, Timothy! Go! What? Oh, bro is jamming. All right, you know what? If that boosts your mood, do what you gotta do. I'll take care of the work.
For the rest of the night, I was simply clearing out the surrounding area, which was handy dandy because I heavily expanded the base on day 17. It was around close to 8 AM when this open concept hall was roughly done. I then proceeded to make some farming plots by the lake, and having a look over the farming plan, I saw that I'm going to need a caretaker for this. Before heading out on my next expedition, I made 2 wooden chests for storage, as well as a potting table, grinder, and a fertilizer bucket. A bed was also placed down, and this expansion is looking much more lively. It was at noon where I went out to some outcast ruins searching for a future farmer. Tiffany, though, was left behind to ensure the success of this. I didn't need the future friends to be bonked over the head. Deterring the highest level that I came across, I gave them some soup and looted the chest. I then picked up the outcast and brought him home in the evening hours, placing him by the fire. And I gotta say, big thanks to Aaron Aztec for helping me with this part. See, there isn't a whole lot of content out on this game yet, but he made 100 days before I did, so he gave me some valuable tips, which was to force feed soup for the recruits to be successful, and this prevented the recognition from stalling, so thank you very much, my guy. As the clock struck midnight, Tristan joined the ranks. Based on his buffs, he does seem to be good with the bow, and having a look at Timothy, though not the brightest, is truly a menace with that hammer. Day 18 was a glorious one as I finally figured out how to set our tribe members to work. Tristan would be sent to gather wood, while Timothy some stone. With gathering now in full swing, I set out to get some more friends, the more the merrier obviously. A rinse and repeat landed us Tom, and he was sent out for some thatch, and soon after a level 12 was brought back home.
Tom, get back here. Piranha's out in the water.
Considering she was found at the same camp as Tom, her name shall now be Tomatha. She despises chores and seems to be a vampire based on the skill. Lovely. I went to repeat this same cycle in the nighttime hours and was surprised to see 2 level 15s.
Oh, what? Teleportation!
Of these teleporting neighbors of ours, I began the process of deterring both of them because, well, why not?
Oh, what the f***? That's a monster hunter level. Yeah, that's a monster hunter attack, boy!
With both successfully knocked out, I looted the place swiftly before moving away for their safety and my own. Day 19 was the day where we not just welcomed Taylor, but also Tanner to the tribe. Taylor is another general hunter, while Tanner is a fighter. The tribe is growing at a steady pace, but there's still room for 3 more. But with more mask upgrades, the tribe limit can be expanded even further. I did use the bed back home for the first time, and I noticed that while sleeping, it recovers morale, so I might need more beds for the entire tribe. I took some time to gear everybody up. Obviously, I put the best gear on myself and the second best onto Timothy. Once that was done, I was off to seek out some more tribes members, getting 2 more deterred at day's end. While waiting for the recruitment to finish on day 20, I repaired the mask some more, mostly related to crafting improvements. Once that was done, we welcomed Tamara and Thomas as new friends. They have to be brought back home individually, as you can only have 1 follower at a time. As I went to go get Thomas, I figured this would be the perfect time to get our last tribe member in this same round. The last recruit that we got shall be named Tilly. With the entire family now brought home and geared up, the rest of the night was simply used preparing a weapons crafting bench. I really wanted to upgrade my tools to bone tier, and for that I placed down this craftsman bench at the beginning of day 21. Here I got to crafting a full set of bone tools for myself and certain ones for the rest of the tribe. One of my top priorities was the farm, but I need to set a caretaker for it, but for that, I need to place a granary, which I'm sadly still 3 levels shy of learning. So for now, with Timothy at my side, we set out for ideal gathering locations. This led us to marking locations that were rich in stone, fiber, as well as wood. Those markers really helped to set everyone to work in a neat and organized fashion. Although the highlight was at the end of the day when I managed to make a pair of beast bone dual blades. These feel like something straight out of Monster Hunter. So to follow this up on day 22, I managed to make a beast bone longbow, which is indeed a massive boy, along with some bone arrows. I then saw that to make many of the food recipes, I'm going to need salt. So Timothy and I went out on a salt expedition to that salt camp that we spotted. What's theirs shall be mine. Having Timothy on standby, I lured them out 1 by 1, and taking them out at around midday, got some of their signature gear too. In no time, even Timothy was re-equipped with new threads. Man, this new bow is coming in so handy with clearing out this camp. One of the enemies did have a shield and spear combo, which is a force to be reckoned with. I am definitely going to want to copy that combo for a future tank of mine. With 1 left, together we stormed the gates and dispatched that final guard. The salt was now mine to harvest to my heart's content. The clay pots also had some goodies inside, like paints and venom. Once we were done here, we made our way towards the tin pit. Might as well check it out while we're out and about. Who knows, we might even get caught in that way. We did end up taking out some bandits here and there, and almost, and I mean almost, bumped into a level 20 jaguar at midnight. Foolishly and also possibly arrogantly, I began to battle the jaguar as day 23 began.
Oh, he's strong. Oh, he's strong. Okay, I'm just gonna... Oh, look at that damage. I'm down. Timothy. Oh my god. No. Timothy, no! Can I respawn as Timothy? I'm Timothy now! No! No, Timothy! Look, the jaguar was almost dead! No!
With that major setback, I respawned and just headed on back out. I was overconfident in that. I thought that with Timothy we would be unbeatable. I did manage to reach the bags, but the issue is that the jaguar is camping them. Whenever it wasn't looking, I did manage to silently retrieve some items. I did sometimes get heavily encumbered, which had me panic, but I lived. And Timothy's life shall not be in vain. We did want to see this mission through to get to that tin pit, so that's what we're gonna do. Within 50 meters of the location, I began to see high-ranking Flint tribe members. This might be a tad difficult. I did notice though that this pit is more so a cave when looking at it from the right angle. And here's where I also had an idea to haul a lot of goodies back. I began to fight the level 18 in hopes to deter her to help me bring my stuff back, but sadly ended up killing her in the process, so this level 13 will also do. She was named Tammy, and I gave her some of the load so that I'm not encumbered anymore. And then we were off to Lazy Lagoon.
Oh no! Tammy! 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 Where the f come from? Okay. Oh, Tammy. Stay with me. Run. Oh.
That's definitely a sign to head on back, so that's what we did on day 24. If it weren't for this giant castle in the way, this is a place I definitely want to check out later on, as these ancient ruins have a Plunderer Leader within. But all the guards are above level 20, so that's a no-go for Tammy and myself.
Not another jaguar. Come, Tammy. Go. Run. Nope. Oh, f. Tammy, distract him. Tap here. Cover me. Give me love. Tammy's fighting. Okay, Tammy's gonna die. Tammy is 100% going to die. And that is my only ticket out of here. Yep. Tammy's dead. I witnessed it. There was no shot. They are absolutely insane.
These jaguars, man, I swear, but better her than me, I suppose. I returned back to the pit and see who else I could recruit. This level 20 will do nicely, I suppose.
We have a bow fight in the tunnels, which is my specialty.
Having deterred the level 20, I quickly dispatched any remaining enemies and took our new friend out of the cave where the recruiting process began. As I was waiting, I did repair the deeply focused node on my mask, giving me a 5% stamina drain reduction. And there we go, Tanisha joins the ranks and has inherited Timothy's hammer. Together, we cautiously approached and successfully retrieved all of Tammy's belongings, so that's a relief. We then made our way back to Lazy Lagoon, but the trip was incredibly long, which had me thinking of moving base locations to reduce general travel times. The highlight of our way home was that when midnight struck, we did find a Flint tribe barracks, which is surprisingly close to home. First, at dawn of day 25, we reached Lazy Lagoon, and I see something rather strange.
Sorry, I'm not looking to adopt at this point in time.
I then deposited the plundered loot and saw that everyone had stopped working, but it's fine. With the haul that they brought in, it's more than enough. I began to sort everything around the base and got ceramic molds crafted. With these, I made the furnace and placed it on down. This was big progress, for it allows me to smelt tin now, having Tanner operate it. I was excited because if RuneScape taught me anything, is that you mix tin and copper to make bronze. I got the bronze smelting right after, and see that I need 76 ingots for the weapon crafting bench. Oh boy, I'm gonna need a second furnace. Tamara was set to operate the second furnace on day 26. She'll be in charge of copper production. Up next, I did place a cooking stove for the entire tribe and deposited every food item that we have into it. But surprisingly, I'm low on meat, so I hunted down a few animals, and while doing this, reached Awareness 25, which is huge. This allowed me to unlock the granary, as well as the table and knowledge to make bronze gear. First things first though, I put the meat into the pot and began to make broth, as it is a very inexpensive HP booster. But I got better things to do than manage the chores, so Tom would for now be our chef, Thomas was set to produce bronze, and Tristan set to hardwood planks at the end of the day. Upon logging in on day 27, I was shocked to see that Tamatha and Taylor died of thirst next to a lake, so I guess we're just weeding out the weak at this point. The upside though is from all the work that Tanner did, he obtained a dual blade damage increase, as well as having now a higher level. I then took some time to manage our boys by controlling them, upgrading their stats, and giving some of them some new weapons. After that, I wanted to set hardwood planks to be made, but for some reason, somebody turned all of my hardwood into hardwood handles. I did not order that, so I had no choice but to grind out some myself. Kind of embarrassed, but I finally learned how to create my tribe. So at last, Tenacious T, not to be confused with hit band Tenacious D, was born. With planks in hand, the granary was built, and Tilly would be appointed as its caretaker. Both of our plots were set to make cotton in hopes to get that yarn made for the armor table, and Tilly knows exactly what to do and gets straight to work, composting and all. This was a major breakthrough. On day 28, the Weapon Bench Part 1 was made, which is a modification to the initial weapons crafting bench. However, I was unable to attach this modification. I needed to make a whole expansion to make enough room, so this shall be our new crafting facility.
Tilly is severely injured by Tilly. Blazing heat. Just overheated a bit there. Well then, maybe don't stand next to the fire, okay, Muma?
To use this bench, charcoal is needed to power it though, and to get charcoal, I need this here earth kiln. I then loaded it up with all the useless branches around the base and set Tanisha to be in charge of this endeavor, and with just a bit of charcoal made, I was now able to power the new station. I got straight to work making a bronze great bow and big bronze arrows. Dear Lord, this is massive. Can't wait to try out this bad boy. But I was aware that at this rate I was going to run out of bronze really soon, so Tanner was set to accompany me on a trip to the copper mines. But to stay as efficient as possible, I gave everyone new tasks to work on while we were gone. We were first on our way in the late hours of the night, and on said way, I managed to upgrade my bow and dual blade learning nodes, and gained more head defense. Thing is, we already hit a snag on day 29, as apparently Tanner and I set off without any healing items, so let's hope we find some outcast camps along the way, or don't come across any jaguars. A little while later, under a large stone overpass, we saw a large anaconda being killed by bush dogs. The corpse did give anaconda skin, premium meat, and an anaconda chunk, which I'm not fully sure what it's used for just yet. Our expedition had us crossing gator-infested rivers and landed us next to an enemy camp, which is the perfect spot to test out my new bow.
Oh my god, I am one-tapping these dudes. What?
Having looted some thick hide and copper ore here, we progressed so that finally at noon we could reach the copper mine, and with that a heavily barricaded city of sorts right beside it. It is of the Claw tribe and apparently is their barracks. Heavily noted. I then saw some guards at the entrance of the mine and had Tanner stay put as I began to pull the enemies. Slowly we made our way in, plundering the place of its copper and silver ore at sundown, and with our inventories filled, yet not encumbered, we made our way home under the cover of night.
No. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? Oh boy. Nope. Tanner, just run. It's still after him. Go Tanner. Go Tanner. Come on. Is that it? Oh, that's just a pig. That's just a boar. Okay. We can take care of the boar. Okay. Dear Lord, Tanner. I'll rescue your ass. He ran, though. He knew that there was no chance against the jaguar. My guy, you are getting promoted. That's smart. I like it.
That jaguar came out of freaking nowhere. I still don't know how the heck we survived that encounter, but we need to continue forwards. We haven't reached home just yet. In the early hours of day 30, I was shooting down an alligator that's in our way, and I love this bow's knockdown. Seriously, it's the best thing that has happened to us thus far. We then harvested the gator and continued onwards, straight into the jaws of yet another, and we did win this fight, although this was much too close for comfort. Let's just leave it at that. Here's where I found the path that we initially took to get here, but took a slight detour as there's some fancy looking ruins to the right. This is the magical portal marked on the map. Based on the description, this gate is connected to the other side of the world. This is definitely something I want to build my future main base close to. But again, I need to focus. We haven't even gotten home yet with our ore.
No! No, 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 no! Please, no. Oh my gosh, we just got absolutely decimated in the blink of an eye. Wow, both of us decimated in a heartbeat.
Another jaguar out of nowhere, and that means Tanner is lost forever. I respawned, ordered Tanisha to follow, put on some basic gear, and we headed on out together. Sadly, Tanisha is gobbled up straight away by an anaconda, so that makes things more difficult than need be. While bush dogs ended up fighting the anaconda, I at least got to make a break for it to safety. I arrived at the death bag shortly after, and I was not surprised to see the jaguar camping them. Managed to get my bag when it wasn't looking, and then retreated, waited for yet another moment to get Tanner supplies. Once it moved, I got to the bag and accidentally grabbed all of the items in Tanner's inventory. That's leaving me encumbered and with that exposed to the jaguar.
I didn't want to pick up everything. For some reason, it's not attacking me, so I'm not going to question it. Hi. How are you doing? I'm just gonna heal if you don't mind.
I ain't gonna lie, I have absolutely no idea what the heck is going on, but I am not complaining. I took this time to heal up and dropped any unnecessary items, and with that, made a break for it.
Yep, okay, yeah, he immediately got mad. No, that's okay, I understand. Okay, there's boars over here. Could you maybe be interested in some wild piggies? Or some capybaras, please? Oh, did that work? I think I can't believe I lived that. What the heck?
It was unfortunate to have lost Tanner and some of the copper ore in this journey, but at least I brought home everything that I could carry. Once home, I set it to smelt at midnight. Day 31 was interesting because I checked the proficiency tab, and because I've done varying activities, I got to choose different buffs related to each task. I chose to go with better tool durability for the major gathering skills, and when it came to crafting, just simply chose higher output for all of them. And of course, proficiencies are also combat related, so I increased the damage for bows as well as dual blades. And as if that excitement wasn't enough, I found that Tilly was already harvesting cotton, and we already had a hefty sum ready to go. I brought the harvest over to the loom, and at long last, yarn was made. With a bit more grinding done, the armor forging table was finally placed down. Now I can finally gear up with a full beast hide armor set, beast bone necklace, as well as a ring. And of course we need some new weapons, so with the 101 bronze ingots at our disposal, I crafted bronze dual blades. They look more sleek and precise. As for our boys, Thomas was set to make some tanning fluid, and Tom some more yarn. It was by day's end where another full armor set was made for Tilly. And you might be wondering, why would I make this for Tilly? Well, I rechecked Tilly's skills on day 32. She is very good in combat, especially with shields and spears, so my goal is to make her my main tank. So a shield and spear combo was whipped up for her. Before heading out though, Tamara was set to work the cotton farm so that somebody took care of the place. Tristan was set on producing silver ingots while we are gone as well. I whipped up some more arrows, and then we finally made our way on over to the copper mines. I harvested feathers along the way, because we're going to need them for arrows after all. It was a long trip, and we faced so many perils. Through rain and storm, we pressed on. Needless to say, I am still extremely weary of jaguars, so I'm just constantly spanning my detection ability. At sundown, we finally reached the mine, and through the evening, cleared it out. So with the place cleared out in a jiffy, it was time to get to work, and so we did. So much so that our inventories were filled just by the right amount on day 33. We then went on home in the early hours. On the way though, I did spot something incredibly terrifying, which is this elite jaguar. I've never seen one of these before, but no touchy. No touchy. And I was kinda starting to doubt Tilly's combat capabilities as I saw how she faced these bush dogs, but quickly lost that feeling as I saw her face this gator with incredible skill. The investment is starting to pay off. I arrived home, and the hull was set to smelt. Some of the copper ingots were turned into wire, and after refining some more resources, I made the armor forging part 1. Time to upgrade once more. With this, bronze armor can now be crafted. Thomas and Tristan had their killing output improved by quite a bit in this process, by the way. So let's keep the XP flowing, shall we? Tristan would produce more copper while Thomas was set to work on bronze. With the ingots that were already crafted, I began to make some bronze chainmail. On day 34, I did have some plans in mind to make things a bit more efficiently, so the process went as follows. We begin by advancing the armor crafting memory unit along with a few others along the way, like maxing out sync enhancement for faster recognition gain. The next step was to make a butcher's table. At it, I spent an immense amount of time processing the gator skin we've been getting, which produced thick leather. And you already know I set the boys to work non-stop, which does affect their morale, but we'll sort that later with some good food and drink. It was at sundown when Tom had his weaving skills leveled up, so he was in charge of making cotton rope like there's no tomorrow. Tristan would be making wood planks through the night, and Thomas got back to making tanning fluids. 35 began with some major upgrades, like crafting a full bronze armor set for yours truly. Surely this is going to make us tougher. And this process was repeated for Tilly too, since she's going to be my tank after all. Finally, we put some salt to use by making some sauced steaks thanks to some chili sauce that I've been looting. This improves max HP better than broth. The enhancements are complete for now, and remember those barracks that we saw some days back? It is plundering time, oh yes indeed. We set off in the afternoon hours with Tilly, and we saw the barracks through the foliage. From what I can gather, they have some farms at the front gate and some barbarian captives inside. Sneaking isn't necessarily my forte, so I was noticed by the guards, but was no issue taking them out whatsoever. The farms up front granted me some corn, potatoes, pumpkins, and even chilies, but I'm excited to see what we can find inside.
Oh no, Tilly, no! Tilly! Get back here! Oh, that's a big boy. I blocked it, yet I still got an arrow through the head.
We began to fight through the guards, making our way into the barracks under the cover of night.
Oh, we have the entire village on us. Oh boy, this is about to get a bit hectic. Okay, Tilly, follow me. Let's go. That's our cue. Woo! Nice, she's tanking. I like it. Oh, that had to miss. Whoa! Don't tell me the guards from the front have respawned. Why are there so many behind us? What? There's so many of them. Tilly, fall back. Tilly, follow me. Holy crap, there's so many of them. Look at that. Oh, they're called support. They must have gotten backup.
The siege continued into day 36. Unsure what to do with the barbarian captives, I was going to let them go, but then they hit Tilly, so none of them were safe from my wrath as I decimated them all. We plundered to our heart's content, and we seem to have found a boss. At least I think it's the boss, since the name is in a different language and all.
The boss is here. Oh, he has a bow too. Oh boy. Oh boy. Big boss has a bow. And it's poisoned, I think, because my health is constantly ticking down. Go, Tilly, go. Okay, Tilly's doing good on him there. Alright. Have to go in guns blazing. Come on, we got him. We got him pinned. Come on, Tilly. Oh my gosh, Tilly. Oh my gosh, Tilly, no. Tilly, no. So close. Yes! Tilly. Get up, Tilly. You're not dying today. We beat the boss. Let's go. Alright, I'm taking all that. I'm not even gonna read.
Having fought my way into what felt like the innermost area of the camp, I began to loot all sorts of amazing goodies, but this is when the true leader was seen, named Retro Reflector. I did everything in my brain power to actually approach this boss intelligently, trying to not expose or weaken myself in the process. However, this boss was something else.
Did I just kill the one behind him? Oh, Tilly! God damn, Tilly. They have an alpaca and an alpaca baby. Wait, what? Here's the boss fight. This is gonna be a doozy. I can already tell. Oh, this one has the same setup. Okay, hold on. This is kind of bad. Oh my gosh, my health. Oh my gosh, you impaled me. I need to go. I can't run. Oh boy. Go, Tilly, come. Oh, Tilly is so Tilly is absolutely dead. Tilly! Tilly! You're alive! I can't believe it. How did you do it? I think the boss is now on her own. Definitely, yeah, definitely healed up. But that's fine. And Tilly, go. Look at that bow damage, though. As long as I can get these draw attacks in, we should have this ended back. Tilly, go back. Tilly, I did not tell you to come back here to me. Oh, why did you heal that up again? Tilly, I need you to actually fight, okay? This is now or never. Come on, Tilly. Oh. Whoa. Yep, she blocks my arrows when she has her shields out. Oh, I think Tilly impaled me there. Oh, of course that missed. So close. There we go. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was so close. Tilly, heal up for the love of God. Woo-wee, we did it. I can't believe we actually succeeded at that. I was like, okay, we're sure to be dead. They have their own altar going on here, you know? Just throwing a party.
That was a series of close calls. I have no idea how we actually managed to win that, but I am exhausted. It's time to loot and go home.
Now, what I want to do is see if I can do something. Wait. Seriously? I have an alpaca in my hands. Tilly, we're going home.
I noticed that as I made my escape that the Claw tribe was now invading the Flynn tribe's barracks. This is a very nice detail, as the Flynn tribe even had supporters come in when I began the attack. Under the darkness of night, we escaped this barracks, alpaca in tow, and returned back home. As I approached Lazy Lagoon on day 37, I noticed something peculiar. The NPCs are talking to one another. That's a nice little detail too. I am happy to be home though, dry and with my new alpaca. I wasn't entirely sure how to tame this, so I set it down inside the hut for now, but then I was notified that I successfully tamed my first mount, so nice. I then quickly whipped up some alpaca feed and moved him out into the gathering hall in case he gets too big to fit through the door. While we wait for him to grow up, I took a look through all that I plundered. Besides the many different consumables, I noticed we got a bunch of worship containers, silver trinkets, which can be smelted into silver ingots, blood activating cream, which is a healing item, Flint tribe paint, and an assortment of bone weapons. Through the cozy rainy day, I simply sorted all of these goods. While we waited for the alpaca, a quick trip to the nearby ruins was needed to stock up on green crystals. With them in hand, I increased my mask hardening twice and improved my armor crafting once. Back home, I restocked on supplies and geared up for an incredible fight that is to come. That is with the Saber-tooth boss. The day ended by updating Tilly's proficiencies and repairing gear as needed. We marched north on day 38 to the ancient pyramid. Not sure what was needed to summon the boss, but I brought the worship containers just in case. We wreaked havoc along the journey, discovering places having not seen before. We then eventually got to the top of this here plateau, upon which is this marvel of human ingenuity, the temple itself. In front of it is a ring of pillars, with it a giant statue of a saber-tooth. In the center, there is an altar, and I see that you can summon different tiers of this boss. I then saw that worship containers are in fact needed, so I was happy that I took those along. As for the rest of the items, they should be easy to obtain from the wildlife around here. Before that though, we took a peek inside to see what it's all about. I entered the pyramid, but we could not pass the gate, as I do not have a guardian mark just yet. With a butcher knife that I made on the go, I gathered the needed supplies down the slope as I slayed this here anaconda. I then got back to the altar at dusk, and I could fight it now, but I'd rather wait till it's daytime. And so, we waited out the nighttime hours. I unlocked force field monitoring on day 39, which helps monitor force fields and detects a target's mimicry mode. I assume that each mask has a mimicry on their level up bars. Mine in this case is sniping mode. I guess this is a way to get intel on the enemy. I also noticed that Tilly normally had a damage reduction debuff, but that was long gone now. She improved through continuous adjustment. Another great feature of this game. I really like how in-depth all of the characters can be. But that's enough of all of that. It is the crack of dawn, and so the fight commenced.
Alright, well, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't seen any information on how these fights go. I have no clue what to expect. All I know is that I'm the best geared up that I can possibly be. Tilly as well. We have a good setup. We have a good team composition. We have healing items. We have drinks for damage improvements. Same for the food. Premium health boosters. And we should be ready to rock. So let's get this party started, I suppose. Fierce Saber-tooth Predator token. I am awareness strength 30, so I should be fine. Let's hope for the best. There it is. Okay. Level 20. Tilly, go fight him. Oh, he's fast. Okay, wait a minute. This is interesting. Oh, okay, there it is. Oh, he is tanky, though. Okay, as long as he's focused on Tilly, we should be good. And that only is true for as long as Tilly's alive, so... He doesn't get knocked out by my arrows, which was our main strat, so, yeah, this might be a doozy. Okay, she used the healing item, I saw that. I'm going to use my alcohol right here to get better crit damage, I believe. He's doing the wheelies again. He's got the zoomies. Oh, he's healed up, though. He's healed up for sure, I believe. Oh, man, he is fast. Okay. I hope I got some bleed in on him. I hope. Okay. Okay, his health is ticking down because of bleed. Tilly is tanking like a freaking champ. Okay, I would need to watch my stam. Okay, he's running again. This might be both. Tilly's down. Oh. Hi, mama. Ooh, that was good damage into his eye right there. Okay. Okay. Okay, he pounced. Tilly, rescue. Oh, so close. Oh, oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, I use the salve. Oh, I am bleeding if I move a lot, though. Nope. Tilly's up. Tilly's up. I'm trying to heal. No, I'm down. I'm down. I have these gypsum things. No, I'm dead. Okay, wait. I might have a shot here. Tilly, respawn as Tilly, please. I am Tilly now. I am Tilly. I don't know how to use her strats, though. Okay, okay, this is bad. Heal. Heal. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. Oh, he's fully healed. He's fully healed. No way. No shot at all. Absolutely no shot.
In the heat of the moment, I'm so glad that I remembered to get my stuff back from my original corpse. And having gotten the bow, I continued to fight with Tilly to the best of my capabilities, but sadly, I messed up and lost her in this process too. After that whole mess, I did manage to get my stuff back, although the saber is still present. I decided with the last few arrows to give it one more try, just to confirm my suspicions. Okie dokie, with that knowledge in hand, I got my booty on out of there and simply contacted the game devs who were super helpful down the line to sort out this issue. But I do need to recover and restock after all that, so I went home on day 40. Not bothered by the fact that I lost the fight, however, I was just disheartened about the loss of Tilly. Truly one of the greatest setbacks in our entire adventure. I then got back home in the morning hours and was greeted by our now fully grown alpaca, so that had me excited. And considering I had this one since it was a baby, I named it Chiquito. I got more arrows made and also got an alpaca saddle. I got lucky enough that it turned out legendary, so things are looking up. I then gave Chiquito a test drive, and dear lord, this boy is fast. It's just as the meme goes, it's got 3 speeds, here, there, and gone. And just look at that inventory space, it is massive. Perfect for doing a resource run. But before any of that could happen, our tribe's numbers were dwindling quickly, so I went to recruit some more, like this level 15 here. Once he's up, I see that he's good with hammers, so I named him Thor. But before I'd log off to end this day, I was sure to make a water trough for Chiquito so he doesn't dehydrate. Day 41, I decided to make some big bone arrows and use those instead of the bronze ones for now, since it's not necessary to have this much overkill and I want to save on that supply. After that, I wanted to refill the ranks and set out to do so at daybreak. After a few tries, I deterred this level 19 here and brought him to safety. While we're waiting, I went for seconds and also recruited this level 20. At sundown, the first was ready to rumble, and I noticed that Flint tribe members are resistant to crits, which is really cool for tanks, but sadly he's completely useless. Absolutely terrible. I ended up naming him Theo, and he'll be our chef since that's like the one thing that he isn't terrible at. The next arose as the moon did, and she has a ton of skills that will be useful for tanking. It's surprising how similar she's to Tilly, so she is recognized as Tilly's mother, so she shall be named Tilliana the Tank. For now, I deployed our tank and brought her back home. Once we arrived at day 42, I noticed that everyone's mood was a little bit down, so I fed them pumpkin salad, which uplifted their spirits, and with giving them all food and water, returned to the Flint camp to get Theo.
Oh, he lit the fire, and that's going to attract all the guards. Interesting. Oh, they're likely going to get reinforcements because of the fire. Yep, look at that. Okay, okay, this is bad. Oh man, I'm getting piled. I can't do anything. I'm just stuck. I gotta go. Yep. Look at how much reinforcements they got. That is insane. Because of the lit fire. Haha, get Rubik's Cubed, my boy.
It's pretty cool that they can light a beacon to call reinforcements, but what's even cooler is that you can break it to stop this nonsense. I am fully aware that I just came here for Theo, but at sundown I began to infiltrate the premises, sniping from the shadows until I found my goal, which is this loose baby alpaca, which of course I scooped up and snuck my way on out. Theo would be ordered to follow me as we made our way home. Upon our arrival at Lazy Lagoon on day 43, I was lucky to see the alpaca was female. I then got a ton of alpaca feed whipped up to feed our duo. A simple pen and hitching post were made, as well as a water and feeding trough. With this completed, I got my gear repaired and set everyone to work to stay efficient. And the evening was very chill. I just set up standing torches all night to light up the area around our camp. To switch things up, I made a regular bronze bow on day 44. There is a big difference in damage between these bows, sure, but the regular bow can fire more frequently, which is perfect to use against the saber where I need to dodge more. But before I would face that boss again, there are 2 more slots to fill in my tribe member list, so I went to fill those up. I stormed the gates with no issue at all, and deterred a level 21 captive with a level 20 shortly after. It was a very easy in and out operation. With the captive rising first, I saw that he hates gathering but is good with throwing axes and fighting at a distance. His name shall be Tax. In the afternoon, I picked up the final recruit and we returned to the lagoon. We reached home in the late night and the final member Rose here. She's decent, even has a vampire-like healing ability. I named her Talia, and the alpaca female shall be named Chiquita. I then gathered some resources to repair my gear on day 45, and Tiliana received Tilly's gear set. She shall be avenging her daughter very soon. With sauced meat collected, we went out to fight the saber at noon. We first reached the pyramid in the late afternoon and wasted no time at all getting to the altar and just got straight to business.
Little bit nervous. Go, Tiliana. Do your daughter proud. Why are you down? Okay, she used a healing item. That's good. Oh! Ooh, I dodged that just in time. Oh, Tiliana might go down there. Alright, Tiliana's full dead.
With Tiliana absolutely obliterated into the afterlife, I continued the lengthy battle which went on through the entire night. But as the day passed and seeing that the fight was not going in my favor, I chose to head back home. Upon my arrival, I did notice that everyone was cranky again though, so I had to spend some time improving everybody's mood. With all of my arrows depleted, I got some more made and decided to head out for a high-level recruit. So oblivious to a very important key detail, I rode out with Chiquita to the Plunderer's ruins, not knowing that Plunderers cannot be deterred because Plunderers are working for the Plunderer Leader who also has a mask, so you can't really deter someone that's already been deterred. In simpler terms, it's as if you were to try to catch another person's Pokemon, if you understand that reference. I reached this temple at sundown and spent the entire evening looking for a safe way in. I did find an entry point on day 47, and boy, these NPCs are tanky. They are wearing bronze armor and it is noticeable, so my bow does next to no damage with headshots. This does worry me a little bit since I do plan to raid this entire complex in order to beat the leader to steal his mask, but for now, the best choice is definitely to fall back. So, time for plan B. I simply went to the nearest River Scout camp to gather more information.
What the? What did my arrow do?
Having reached the camp, it was easily cleared out and the information was obtained. I did have a very long fight with the scout, wasting a ton of arrows since I wanted to try to deter him, but you can't, so I had to dispatch him. With more information on the map now, I noticed that a tin mine was discovered, so I headed straight for it. I did end up having a hard and lengthy battle there with the guards, but deterred this level 24, and after spending some time watching over him, Tallahassee joins the ranks. Seems tanky, which should be pretty handy, so let's make our way home as clock hits midnight.
Oh no. You have to be kidding me. Seriously. Well, it was nice knowing you.
Well, that's just dandy, ain't it? Having witnessed that, I began to get much less picky about who joins my tribe, so I deterred this level 20 Flint member, and he was soon named Tiago. And we're off! Straight into danger again!
No. Shit. Oh, wait. No. Oh, no! You have to be
Well, that's another point to the local Jaguars. Tiago, I barely knew you, but that still hurt me deep down inside. I also barely managed to escape this encounter and just went straight home. Once back, I noticed that the farms had produced some new plants that I've been working on, some guava and aloe. So I finished off the night setting up quinoa to be planted, which was my ultimate food-related goal. On day 49, I possessed Tom and gave him all my gear. I will be maining him from now on. I got some bone powder made. It would be needed for bone fertilizer, which quinoa needs. However, this fertilizer also needs feces, so a capybara farm was something that I put on the to-do list. However, bronze ingots are also running low, so together with Chiquita, we went over to the nearest copper mine. There deterred a level 20 and began stocking on up. Once ready, Tatiana became our friend, and together we went home at day's end.
Oh, great. Don't move a muscle. Easy does it now. I don't know where Tatiana is, but we gotta go. Oh, you're still alive. Nice. No! Not Chiquita! Oh, you have to be kidding me. Oh, how am I supposed to take all this stuff back home? Tatiana, get over here. I have a job for you.
Arriving home on day 50, I set Thomas to smelt the copper. In the meantime, I also got a pipe gatherer made and placed at this big tree, as I'm going to need it for serum. Up next, a fish trap was placed down, baited with locusts to passively catch fish. This is also something I'm going to need for that food-related goal that I mentioned with the quinoa. I then made a medium trap and some feed for turkeys and capybaras. Right next to base, I did manage to trap this capybara, but it seems to be too old to tame. So then I saw 2 babies, and I would have gone for them, but they were killed by gators. It was at night when I caught my first capybara, which had me super excited. I brought it on home and got it placed in a pen that I had made at the end of the day, and I thought it meshed through the floor and disappeared as I placed it down. Got some Ark-related flashbacks there, let me tell you, but don't worry, the baby is there somewhere in the ground. We'll see it later. I was gearing up Tom and Thomas on day 51 to fight the Saber. That's right, we're gonna have another go at the big old kitty cat, and an admin called Vox is online to analyze the fight. Playing as Tom, I'll be playing to this character's advantage, which is sniping from a distance with a bow, and Thomas will be going in as a distraction as the tank, because, get it? Because he's Thomas, the tank engine. I thought it was pretty clever in the moment. I'll see myself out. Vox here seemed to be just as excited for me to fight the boss and see what would happen, so they were polite enough to summon in the boss, and it went off without a hitch, which had me very pleased, and Thomas was the one to land the finishing blows, so that was pretty cool. Whipping out my butcher knife, I was able to get a ton of very rare items from this boss corpse, including blue crystals. With now access to the pyramid, I entered and unlocked the pedestal that upgrades the mask to be able to remodel dead tribesmen who have their data recorded. From what I could gather, this does not mean actually reviving your lost characters exactly as they were when they died, but rather you can resummon them in the state they were when you actually managed to recruit them. Also, I unlocked body enhancement twice, so all our characters should be boosted a little bit, and learned that plunderers cannot be deterred, which is a very important detail because they are pretty strong, so no can do on those. And inside these dungeons, there are mechanical beings of sorts. Having arrived back home on day 52, I saw that the fish trap was completely filled, so I harvested up those fishy fish, and from the pipe gatherer got to collect serum and resin. I then noticed that metalworking tends to give a lot of XP, so I set Thomas to make copper wire. I then got back to making traps, and from a single craft got 2 out of it, which is pretty nice. I then headed off once more for a capybara baby. I spotted one and took out the parents, set the trap down, and presto, easily caught said baby.
Oh, what? 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 Wait, okay, so this is the new one. Why are you here now? Hydration insufficient, food insufficient. Yeah, no my guy, hold on. I thought you were dead. I thought you were gone to the ether.
Proceeding to fill the water trough, I was excited to see that the first one that I got actually has been there all along, so I was going to do my best to ensure their survival. Was even more excited because one was male and the other female, so maybe there would be breeding happening soon. And the poop plan was already showing success with 10 feces collected in the fecal farm. I know it's kind of weird to be excited about this, but hear me out. I needed this to make that bone fertilizer, and with it, I can finally now grow quinoa. Just need these cashews and tomatoes to be harvested first. While we wait, I decided to be efficient by doing a round of green crystal gathering, because your boy needs to unlock things on the mask. One of those things being snipe mode mimicry, which amplifies bow damage by 15% and allows me to detect weak spots, which improves crit damage. Sadly, this cannot be used till the Fog Frog is defeated, which is the next boss. So I went home and spent the evening preparing for the day ahead. Because day 53 would be a busy one as we are moving. A new spot was chosen, equal distance from the copper mine, tin mine, and the mysterious portal. I got started by preparing some building pieces like wooden foundations, walls, and ceilings for this new base so I don't have to whip them up at the spot. Also, a bronze bonfire would be the centerpiece of this new village. Some wooden fences were also whipped up along with wooden chests to store items at the new location. Also, this doesn't mean I want to abandon Lazy Lagoon, so I don't really want to remove all of the crafting facilities here, so I remade the basic processing facilities to bring on over. Capybaras are fully grown and show a reproduction status, so we might have little cappies soon. And I still kind of find it funny how excited I was about the fact that quinoa began to sprout, but it's progress that I've been working on for a while. It was first in the late evening where I brought Chiquito closer to the crafting table and began to load him up for the trek to come. And on day 54, we begin the migration, having Tio follow us. He would be a sacrifice if we encounter a jaguar. With the location marked, we began to cautiously move around the jungle and avoided confrontation as we made our way on over, and finally arrived at the location later in the day. It is not as flat as I originally thought it would be, but it'll do just fine. The first objective logically is to remove any hostile fauna in the area, and Theo was playing the role of bait very well. He has that going for him at least, cause dear lord does he suck at everything else. A little bit after dawn, the area was freed of any imminent dangers, so it was time to plan out the base. The main issue I could find is there's this ramp that leads down to the river, which is an easy access point for gators to come up and eat all of my friends, so I really need to place some barricades here. I then found some flat surfaces and got to work clearing out the area of trees and weeds. As I was placing the first foundations of our new home, an unexpected intruder appeared. He didn't really do much, but he was armed, so logically he had to be dispatched, and this just proves that defenses need to be bolstered.
Oh, oh, that's a bush dog. I thought for a sec that was a... Oh.
Okay, my initial thoughts were I might have gone a little bit overkill with the size and design, but it's looking pretty cool. I'm actually really satisfied with it. Walls were placed down at sundown, and the roof was next to be worked on. By the end of the day, the main hall looked pretty cool in my opinion. I never make anything cool in survival games, so the fact that this game can actually make me make something that looks good says a lot. And you know the saying, safety first? Yeah, well, I sealed off the bonfire considering that my tribe members keep passing out on top of it. But this productive day was coming to an end, so I placed down a double bed along with some chests next to it. 55 started with lighting up the yard outside of the main hall, and the next building was to be placed down immediately, wanting this to be an efficient base as soon as possible. It was around noon when we had a decked out crafting area for all of our processing needs, though the roof still needs a little bit of work. Wanting to finish that off, I was gathering wood at night, which had me attacked by a gator, and this just intensifies the need for protective walls. After a little bit of fiddling, the roof was finally complete, and I gotta say, I'm liking the building mechanics of this game, I really do. The workshop was officially completed at midnight, and I was happy that my work was looking snazzy. The true migration began on day 56, leaving Theo behind. We then head back to Lazy Lagoon to get supplies and the next tribesman. And simply following the river led us to Lazy Lagoon rather quickly, so we arrived at the crack of dawn, and here we see a hefty amount of quinoa already harvested. As I was grabbing and loading up any items that were of some kind of value, I thought to myself that the new base needs a name. So henceforth, the village shall be known as Rapid River. Quite a fitting name, as once it's set up, I do intend for my progress to be rather rapid indeed. However, just because I'm moving doesn't mean that everybody gets to sit around and do nothing, now does it? So, what I ended up doing is I gave some of our people some tasks, but the main priority here was to feed Thomas this here quinoa porridge, which boosts his XP gain, which is one of my top priorities considering he's our tank, so he needs as many levels as we possibly can give him.
Off we go. Whoa! Wait a minute! Hello? Who are all of you? Okay, this is interesting. What the fuck?
Needless to say, I was a little bit stunned by the capybara outbreak. Didn't know they reproduced like bunnies, but I ain't complaining. Having loaded up as much as we possibly can, it was time to head back to Rapid River, and for this trek, we decided to take Tax along to be our bait. Needless to say, all this moving takes a lot of time, so day 57 started the same as before, like heading back to Lazy Lagoon, stocking back up, and bringing another tribesman back to Rapid River. Moving bases, though, has been entirely dependent on Chiquito. This boy is the MVP for this move, hands down. Without his carry weight, this would have taken like 10 times longer minimum. So for the next few days, we'll be moving resources and tribesmen between bases. This continued for the entirety of day 58 without much really happening, and then we continued the move on 59. We did pick up a few stations on this day, like the kiln, armor forging table and its upgrades. Same goes for the weapon crafting bench. I don't really have to remake those, I thought to myself. Also, between moves, I did manage to set up some barricades where the alligators could potentially get to my tribe. Day 60 was the final stretch for the move. Thomas would find passage now to Rapid River, and after setting Thomas to make bone powder and sorting everything, I was off to get the final member for the transfer, that being my original body. Tamara was going to be left behind at Lazy Lagoon, tending to the farmland there. The ridiculous amount of capybaras are used to produce hides for water skins to keep Tamara hydrated, although she's still probably going to be lonely.
Okay, Tamara, no hard feelings. But at a quick glance, you are the weakest link in the chain. I mean, seriously, you dislike chores, you're loud, you get noticed easily, you're clumsy, you're born with bad luck itself. So, yeah, have a good stay here at the Lazy Lagoon. I'm sure you'll handle things perfectly. I'll leave everything to you and likely never see you again. So, bye-bye, have a great time.
Now, having brought everything to the new base, I decided to get everyone straight to work. I got some bronze tools made for everyone, so it was time to truly rapidly progress. But first, I did notice that some of our tribesmen actually meshed into the closed off bonfire area because they insist on sitting around it. So I decided, screw it, you want to sit there so badly? Be my guest. And so I set up a way to get to it.
I wanted to keep y'all safe from burning alive, but I guess I was in the wrong. I'm so sorry.
Now for day 61, I had something special in mind for my progress. I got a brewing stand down, and in it, I managed to mix resin and serum from the tree together to make raw lacquer. I then combined it with more resin and got myself this here battle durability mod for armor pieces. This means that the armor with it should last longer. I then also combined lacquer with copper wire, and this makes a defense mod. Thankfully, I can swap out the mods on my gear because this is what I actually wanted to make, and I just kind of made a little whoopsie daisy there, but we actually got what we wanted in the end. And logically, I want as many of these as possible on my gear, so I spent most of the day making wire for them. So once I was done with all of these armor upgrades, I set out to beat up some scouts to uncover more of the map. As I'm heading out to explore, I do gotta say though, 3 main things that I'm enjoying so far of this game. 1, the environment, and with it the graphics of said environment. 2, the in-depth but simple enough to understand crafting and building, but most importantly, the tribe mechanics. Look, I am not the brightest, we all know this, and of course I was learning the game from the ground up, which took a while to learn to set everyone to work at what they're best at, but honestly, you could like make an infinite production line with your peeps. You could automate everything and optimize all internal production systems based on who does what, since all tribe members have an assortment of pros and cons, which could lead to an absolutely insane setup, the thought of which just blows my mind how far one could actually push this. Anyone could single-handedly be a massive, efficient one-man tribe where you never have to grind once you're set up. But let's get back to beating up some scouts, shall we? After crossing some bodies of water in the south, I reached this mangrove biome. Here, I spotted an elite alligator amongst the mangroves as I approached the targeted area. In the late evening, I arrived at the camp, which was my destination. Here, I parked Chiquito on a rock and began to snipe the enemies, accidentally killing the scout in the process.
A little bit too overkill.
Well, let's just chalk that up to bleed damage. I then had to wait for them to respawn on day 62. It would first be at noon when I could have my second shot at this. I obtained the information needed around 1 p.m. and turns out this was a small set of islands. It has a salt pan barracks belonging to the Flint tribe to the south, but no other scout camps were marked. So onwards we go to the closest pyramid that I could see. Large mountains came into view after a while, and seems like I was entering yet another new biome. After crossing yet another large body of water, I reached a camp with a scout, which is exactly what I wanted. I obtained the information of the area at dusk. It only led to the location of the Rocky Bottomland Scout. And since I'm all the way out here, might as well push forward. Side note, this biome has wolves at a very high level. Shortly after, I uncovered alpacas with babies. No trap on me though, sadly, but I will be back, that's for sure. But let's stay focused at the task at hand. After some travel, we found the scout at long last.
Oh, don't you dare spit on me. Not again, seriously?
Battling it out through the night, I noticed that these are Fang tribe members, which is interesting because I don't think I've seen them before, and all major tribes have specific combat-related boosts for their members, which really helps you pick and choose what characters you want to deter based on what roles you need filling, and this is going to become very important later in the video. I don't want to spoil it though, this is just a little bit of foreshadowing sprinkles for you, my lovelies. The battle took its sweet time into day 63, and once the information was obtained, sadly, no pyramid-related information, so no choice but to press on. I did get some soup, though, from this engagement, which gives me a chance to possibly deter a powerhouse recruit in this region. My expedition for knowledge sent me far into the canyon region, where I found a Fang copper mine, and also from here I could see that the next scout isn't too far from here, but first, I might as well stock up on some copper. At dawn, I ran into wolf territory, and dear lord, they chased me forever. I then discovered a weird new animal called an Iracoterio. I think. I'm not even gonna defend myself, that's probably wrong. By now, rain had begun to fall heavily, but still we pressed forward. By the looks of things, we have entered a cold, foresty area. Here is where I found the scout camp.
What? Whoa! What the heck? Hello? Okay, no, you had to die. I'm sorry. That is a no-go.
Despite that bizarre experience, I got the information that I needed, and with it, the pyramid on the map is uncovered, but no icon on it, so pushing further we must. The sun did eventually decide to show itself, which made our travels much easier, and would you look at that, there's the pyramid I have been searching for. Upon closer inspection as I discovered it, I also noticed giant statues of a big old frog. I noticed at the top left there's also a poison bar on my screen, and I am slowly taking damage, Chiquito included, so I conclude I will need poison resistance for this boss fight. But before leaving, I want to check the altar to see what I will need for the summon. Sadly, there are poisonous frogs guarding it, which made this much more difficult than need be. I had to leave Chiquito someplace safe and headed solo, sniping the frogs along the way. I was determined to get this information ahead of time and was surprised that the frogs shoot poison. That's also good information. I tried to sneak in, but was quickly noticed by everything around, so I just had to full send this bitch.
Eloy, okay. I got it on recording. I can check that later.
With the information in my noggin, but most importantly on my hard drive, I finally got to make my long journey home. And on the way back, I spotted llamas. So all I know is next time that I'm coming back, I'm bringing a trap for these.
Oh, no shit. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Holy crap. How long do they follow? Jeez. Be following across the whole continent there, bud.
And yeah, I took some wrong turns here and there, and the day simply ends with me being unsure how to get home.
Bro, how am I supposed to get down?
Day 64, unsurprisingly, has me chased by more wolves, and I am so confused trying to figure out how to get down, which led me to a very risky idea. A very risky gamble indeed.
Okay. Am I terrified? A little bit. You know what, Chiquito? We're going to do this together. It's all or nothing at this point. Going all the way back is gonna take days, because I literally have to run back this entire way down here, almost all the way back to the pyramid, just to get down. So it's now or never, buddy. We ride together. We die together. Geronimo! I can't even look down. Oh, I think we're going to be good. I think we're gonna be good. Please. We live. No shot. We live. Let's go, baby! Oh, that's crocodile. Never mind. I don't want to speak too soon. That's a crocodile.
Ecstatic to have made it to the bottom alive, I continued my eternal trek home with Chiquito. This had me popping up next to another scouting encampment, and you already know the drill from here.
What the fuck? Bro's got homing missiles.
With that done, another copper mine was discovered nearby, so that's good information. The entire river goes up to the Holy Ruins, which is a plunderer zone as well. All sorts of new terrain was discovered in this journey, but enough sightseeing. I gotta book it home, so we arrived at 9 a.m. And truly, it is good to be back home. I deposited the goods, got the copper to smelt, and it was time to plan out this poisoned frog assault. I spent some time upgrading the carpenter's table. Here I got some hardwood strips made. A balcony is also soon added to the station, where an oil press is placed with those recently made strips. In this, cashews were grinded into cooking oil. That was used to make poison-proof mods for all of our armor. Some berry juice was also made in the cooking station, which also adds poison resistance. Although I do gotta admit I was a little bit saddened to see my defense mods disappear as I replaced them with the poison resistance, but I would simply repeat this process for Thomas's armor to end off the day. On day 65, after repairing the gear for Thomas and myself, I was sad to see I made another teensy-weensy oopsie-daisy. See, repairing deletes the mods on the items. I did not know that, so I had to remake all of the mods. So once that entire process was done, I focused on the summoning requirements. Thankfully, all of the items I simply had around the base thanks to all the things that I've been looting till now. As for the food I was wanting to use to buff my characters for the boss fight, I wanted smoked ham, and this needed a drying rack. And the steps were simple. Get some jerky made, and then with some cooking oil, and just boom shakalaka, throw them all together, and smoked ham is made. But I was aware that cooking oil might become more important down the line, and I didn't want to run out of cashews for it, so I had to place a whole new farm down here at Rapid River Forest, and Theo would now be promoted from bait to farmer. I did end up expanding the farmland a little bit on day 66, as these new patches would be for corn for llama feed. While we wait for that to grow, a new water trough was placed for Chiquito, as well as placing the last barricades for the perimeter. It was just before midnight when I noticed that we reached awareness level 35, meaning we officially have entered the Iron Age. So, good job everybody! I was able to harvest some corn on day 67, and with that make some llama feed, as well as collect some peanuts that were growing along the cashews. These I turned into cooking oil, and with those, more smoked ham was made. And you know what? I decided that I'm tired of hunting turkeys for feathers in order to make my arrows, so I made a turkey pen, and you already know that it's bird season. I went on out and discovered that catching turkeys was considerably harder than capybaras.
Aw, noticed me.
So, after waiting a long time and having 2 traps set up, I eventually got one and brought it on home. Quite late into the evening, I might add. But we're not done. Obviously, I want these to breed for a ton of feathers, so I ended up bringing a second one home at midnight. Feather production had already begun on day 68, but no matter what I did, I could not see the second turkey. It has vanished like the capybara, baby. But moving on, I ended up making more arrows and even attached the Bleeding Mod 3 to my dual blades. I then prepared a llama trap, and it's time to head off to face the fog frog, but not before grabbing Thomas. Together, we would leave as a storm ravaged the land. One thing we noted on our trip, though, is that when you get close enough to an elite animal like this elite alligator here, it gets discovered as a beast layer and marked on your map in case you ever want to come back here, in case you have a death wish, is what I thought to myself in the moment. But in reality, this is very important down the line. Also, here's a tip for when y'all play this game, in case your followers get into a bit of a pickle like Thomas did, where he gets stuck in the back and starts taking damage. Just keep rushing ahead with your mount, and eventually your follower will poof right beside you, and then you can heal up in peace. We reached the battleground at the start of day 69. I attempted to snipe out all of the arrow frogs before dawn to clear out the area. Also, we are resisting the poison very well, which had me incredibly excited. But note that clearing out the frogs is a whole chore in its own right, but eventually it was safe enough in the morning to begin our battle. I had Thomas eat his ham and drink his juice, and then we headed on into the arena, for it is time to face the fog frog in battle, which by no means will be easy, but I think we are prepared.
I am nervous about this fight, but I'm just not going to think about it. You know what? We're just going to call it in and hope for the best, okay? Whoa, dear Lord, you are massive. Oh, boy. Oh, he's like an artillery of poison. Oh my gosh, the belly flop. Holy crap. Fight him! Fight him! Fight him! That's right, just tank it. Just tank it, Thomas. You got it. You're the tank engine. I'm doing my kill shot. There we go. That applies some bleed. Oh, Thomas. Oh, Thomas. Please heal up. He's healing. I can see him healing. Although I think he's poisoned as well. Oh, he just got belly flopped. Nope, that is the end of Thomas. Thomas the tank engine has fallen. I might as well use this time to heal up a little bit. But this is the end for him, that's for sure. Okay, watch out for that. That is some nasty stuff, my boy. Okay, so, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, that poison cloud hurts. Oh my gosh, the poison clouds stay. Heal, please. Nope, nope, I'm down. That is the end. That's poison on me. I cannot unheal this. That is all my gear gone. Fuck me, dude. And Chiquito is all the way out here. That is a massive setback. That is a colossal setback.
With that major blow to our progress, I simply began to make my way back, wanting to hopefully be able to recover my gear since it's the best that I got. This fight also had killed the 2 best characters that I had prepared up until this point, so the rest of the day was just spent going on the long trek back. Arriving at the pyramid on day 70, I just rushed into the frog pit. I got the gear and just made my way out since I have no resistances at the moment. Thankfully, no items were lost, but the boys were. In my frustration, I did try to get my revenge shooting the beast from a distance, but being outside of the arena, the game does have a no cheese preventative measure, which in all cases is a good thing. There was no choice but to simply take the L and move on. I headed to the next scout area and who knows, maybe here we can get a high level ally along the way or even iron ore. But I'm never that lucky, am I? Because what I discovered was a new predator, a lion at level 46, so I skedaddled on out of there and came across some deer, of which I hunted down 1 or 2, as the deer skin is needed for damage mods for weapons. There also was a temple out in the fog, perhaps there the monkey calls its home. Who knows? I then spotted the level 48 outcast. I know I need high levels, but this might be a little bit excessive to try out. I did end up trying it. My suspicions were confirmed, so I hopped on Chiquito and we made for the hills.
Okay, this is it. I'm dead. I'm dead. Everything is lost. There's no hope. There's no salvation. Oh god! Oh god! Dear? Save me. Oh my god. Help. Help. We lived to see another day. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me.
It's back to the pretty forest for me, though I did find a peculiar flint tribe mine with odd rocks. With a swing of my pickaxe, I saw that it was phosphorus. This is incredibly great as this is needed for better poison resistance potions. And these flint tribes here were stronger than my current allies, so with a painfully long battle, I eventually managed to deter the level 31 that I worked so hard on to take down. And lucky me, she comes with bronze tanking gear included. Day 71, and the new recruit to Tenacious T awakens. Anxiously, I had a look at her skills, and although not perfect, still has what we're looking for. It's got a defense boost, 60% damage reduction, an attack boost, and also an endurance boost for when tanking. Having found such a great member, she will be dubbed Treasure. Immediately, she was given the armor of Thomas to carry on his legacy. The main drawback here, though, is that her lowest skill is Physique, which is needed for tanking, so we have our work cut out for us leveling this up, but we will focus on her blade proficiency instead of spear, because she already has a head start on that.
No way! Wait, what? Cure diseases. Consume 1 plant essence. Yada yada yada. Remove 100% poison. That's pretty sick. Okay, now we just need to make some plant essence.
I wanted to keep scouting, but I knew deep down that I had to get Treasure home safely and begin leveling, so off we went on the long journey home. However, I did spot a baby llama on the way, so I had a crack at catching it, even though I was unsure if I'd be able to get it home. It was around noon when the llama was finally in the cage. I placed it down just to see what would happen, and sure enough, it instantly tamed. So I gave it the feed that I had taken along, and rather than wait for it to grow up, I simply picked it up and had Chiquito and Treasure follow me. Getting back home took its sweet time because, dear lord, are we moving at a slow pace, and seeking out a safe route back to Rapid River was no easy task, so this went on for seemingly forever. And as you can assume, still traveling on 72, and this llama is getting hefty. I don't know how my arms are managing this. And due to an unavoidable encounter with a pack of wolves, I did have to place down the llama in order to dispatch these predators, and once done, I realized that the llama is no longer able to be picked up, which is a little bit of a problem given the current circumstances. So I had her placed up on a spot where she'd be safe and marked it on my map. We then ran home, leaving her behind. I will be back for her, don't you worry. On the way, I did make a quick tin pit stop in order to gather as much as I could possibly carry, and then went on to Rapid River, reaching it in the late evening. Here, my top priority was treasures leveling, so I whipped up some porridge and tossed all of the ore into the furnace and got her straight to work throughout the night. I then whipped up a llama saddle with a cushion extension for transporting knocked out recruits on day 73. I then possessed Treasure once she was done smelting, for I will use her for mining, and headed straight for the llama that was left to raise. I anxiously approached the location of where we had left the llama, fearing that the worst might have happened, that some wolves got to it, but thank the heavens it's still there.
There she is.
Now that she's saddled up and ready to go, I figured she needs a name, and that will be Private Princess since the saddle resembles that of a soldier's helmet. But here is where I had to make an incredibly difficult decision because I can't have more than one mount with me at a time, so I had to leave Chiquito behind. There was no other way. I felt so bad, but you won't be forgotten. Now about that mining that I mentioned, because I had gotten tin the other day, I wanted to get copper in a mine that's nearby here, but some wolves had forced me to take a detour, which led me down to a river with an elite tortoise residing there. Hey, what's up, Oogway? How you doing? Down the stream, I found a Fang sulfur mine. This is incredible because I needed sulfur for even more poison resistance potions. So I got as many as I could, but once the guards were disturbed, I decided to skedaddle on out of there, which led me to the boar-infested copper mine that I originally wanted to get to at about midnight. So I cleared out the cave as day 74 began. Sorry, piggies, but Papa needs his copper. I then ate an XP porridge and began mining up all of the copper that I possibly could without disturbing the elite in the back. All this got loaded into Princess's inventory, and here's where I noticed she has over 1,000 points of weight, which is just so good. But Princess's utility doesn't stop there, because once I had my fill, I went on over to the nearest scout camp, where I managed to lure away a level 29 archer without the others noticing, and deterred her successfully at around noon. And here's where that saddle extension comes into play, because now the three of us, even with one being knocked out, can head on over to the nearest tin mine in this case to keep efficiency up. We reached this place at sunset, and I harvested up as much as I could. But before leaving, the new member is ready to go, and I found out that she has a 25% poison resistance. That is the perfect archer for the Fog Frog right there. We found our new main. From here on forward, she shall be known as Terra, and since Terra is now on her feet, I got to harvest even more tin ore and stored it in her inventory. I was so glad that this expedition went so well, and even happier that we made it home safely right before midnight. So as day 75 began, I possessed my original body. I sent the new recruits to smelt ingots for leveling with porridge in their bellies, so they got plenty of experience. Having to do a relog for this morning to do IRL obligations, I find that Tristan died of hunger with pineapples in his inventory. Honestly, he was the one that always complained about wanting fruit, and I had given him fruit and he died, so good riddance, I guess. Once I was geared up, I set out on Private Princess, wanting to uncover more of the map and, with luck, get stronger allies or even better, iron ore. Or maybe both, who knows? Dodging tons of jaguars had led me up a mountain, ultimately landing me at a land bridge. I decided to cross it, which was quite difficult since I first had to figure out how to reach it, but once I did, managed to cross it at around sunset. The place was guarded by horned eagles, a new enemy that I attempted to snipe. The kill landed me premium beast blood as well as feathers. Night has now set in, and we're still crossing this land bridge, cautiously at that because those birds are actually pretty strong. I found myself at an impasse though. The only way up was past some wolves. I simply decided to book it at top speed on Princess, and thanks to that, soon unlocked a new prairie-like region with bisons. Day 76 began by dealing with a pack of wolves, as well as a scout camp, and I gotta say the enemies are getting quite strong, but I simply used the same tactic that I used to get Terra, and lured the strongest one away, and successfully deterred her. By dawn, the camp was cleared out, and all the information was gained, and with our new friend in tow, we continued on our expedition. For the next camp, I will have the help of Tala. We continued to siege this camp and managed to split off a smaller group of enemies, and they were quickly dealt with and even deterred at level 43, although Tala embodied Timothy's bloodlust there for a sec. As we wait for this new recruit to be ready, I continued to siege the camp. It was a very difficult fight, and I kept pushing because we had made some progress, but sadly, in the heat of combat, Tala ended up losing her life. And I would have some sentimental words for our fallen comrade here, but honestly, she missed every single one of her attacks and had a really short lifespan, so rest in pieces, I barely knew you. Due to this, I decided to fall back because taking this camp solo would be way beyond my skill level. I simply waited for the level 43 to be ready, who joined us at midnight, and due to the time of day, I named her Twilight. And I decided that together, we would make our way to the Holy Ruins on day 77. That scout camp was just too much to handle. The journey led us to some wasteland wolves, which told me that a biome change is coming up, and sure enough, we are now in a desert canyon with palm trees. I followed this road and dodged some wolves and made our way for the ruins. But man, this place is hostile. We had to run for the hills away from this powerful eagle, which led us to a giant waterfall, but there's no sign of the ruins anywhere. I could swear that I'm at the right location. I did notice though that I was taking radiation damage, and there was a gauge on the top left of my screen. When did I end up in Stalker? As I was sneaking past some wolves, my senses detected an ore node nearby, but this wolf infestation was insane. Eventually I slipped past them, and I would give the node a hit or two, and that, my lovelies, right there is iron. I've been looking for this for so long! Finally, we found our ticket to victory, and these nodes also give gold ore, so that's a double whammy. I got as much of this stuff as Private Princess could carry. We had to stock up to the brim. But these rocks apparently double as a scorpion pinata. Whoa. Well, obviously, if it's stuck, I have to poke it, but the last arrow seemed to have gotten the attention of an elite wolf. I took a moment for it to wander off and returned to the node, harvesting the scorpion, and finished the node before we head on our long journey home. And yeah, the journey was long. It took the entirety of day 78, arriving home late in the evening. And since we're home on day 79 and want to get that iron smelted, we began the process of making the blast furnace, and we had just enough points to learn to make stone bricks, which is needed for it. And since the grind is about to get real, I cooked up some porridge for everybody involved to level up efficiently. Terra got to crafting stone bricks for the blast furnace, Twilight got to making phosphorus and sulfur powder for poison resistance potions. Eventually, this behemoth of a furnace was placed outside of the crafting area for logical reasons, and here's where my heart sank because the fuel needed is coal ore. So that means you gotta go on another expedition to find a completely new resource. So once my armor was repaired, it was time to head out to find this new fuel source while everyone kept working. On the way, I did have a little funny idea and decided to go through and collect some green crystals. The crystal gathering continued into day 80, after which I began to make my way to the magical portal. And man, this jungle is just infested with jaguars. Just moving around feels like playing Minesweeper. Eventually, I did reach the portal and figured out how to activate it with green crystals, but here's also where I realized you can only use it if you activate another portal somewhere else on the map. So my plan of easily teleporting to places to find coal ore is a bust. And since I'm unsure where to check for coal ore, I just began wandering about and found myself next to the ocean, having a peaceful gallop down the beach, thinking of my next move. This is when something caught my eye in the distance. Looking in the direction of the frog temple, that definitely looks like a volcano. I traveled a little bit closer to get a better view, and that is absolutely a volcano. Wow! Oh, 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 wowzy, mamma mia pizzeria! On my warp path to the volcano, I obliterated barbarian camps left and right to get more intel, and night eventually set in, making it hard to see where I'm heading. Eventually, I reached the Tortoise River and decided to follow it down. And with the ocean at the end of it, the region did feel different. Maybe I will find coal here. Everything does kind of look a little bit singed, but we have to be careful though. There are high-level enemies afoot.
The fuck? A marmot? The fuck you? Are you underground? Hi, buddy. Oh, they're mad. Oh, they're actually mad. Oh boy.
Day 81 had me running into all sorts of danger as I was unable to find this freaking volcano. But slowly and surely, I was making my way into areas that did seem more burnt, which is when I spotted some ore nodes. I had a whack at them and saw that they are obsidian. Not what I needed, but still excited to get this regardless. One thing to note though is that I saw some scouts in this region, and there's no way in heck that I'm going to be able to solo those at my current gear. Absolutely not. At least at sunrise, I could see the volcano once more, as well as armadillos. Surprisingly though, they are incredibly powerful and almost managed to one-shot me.
Oh my gosh. Noted, don't poke the wildlife.
And the question stands, did I want to poke this monitor lizard here? Of course I did, but I refrained from doing so as I learned my lesson. As I was scaling the volcano, it became so hot that I began to take heat damage, but we must press on. I did find some more sulfur pits, which is cool, but I'm looking for coal ore. So much obsidian, but not a single coal chunk in sight. The heat eventually got so bad that my premium bandages wouldn't keep up, so I had to fall back. But as I was leaving, I came across this ancient altar. There's guards here that are also too strong for me to solo, but I had a little sneak peek inside, but at the moment didn't see much of importance, so I continued on. Discovered another sulfur pit. Clearly, no coal was to be had in this biome. Having reached this conclusion, I had no choice but to continue on to seek out new biomes. I chose to make my way towards the next pyramid in the fog. You know, if the monkey spawns there, we can check the altar at least. Late in the evening, we came across a foggy swamp, though, and a low-level scout camp. I got the information of the wetlands and looted the chest. I got some chill-proof mods, which is cool. I didn't know you could loot those, as well as many new herbal items. The next day, I came across an interesting cave that supposedly leads to some ancient ruins, but it's filled with centipedes and iron ore. So of course I wanted to mine here, but those centipedes are something of a nightmare, let me tell you. They're fast, resilient, and relentless by the looks of things. And engaging them in melee combat is not a great idea as they heavily poison you. Once daytime came around, I could see the pyramid up on the cliffside, so up we went and immediately got into a pickle with some boars at a cave. Once I finally lost them, I made my way back to this cave, though now I'm sandwiched between the mountainside and a bear. However, in this dilemma, there is ore next to me, and not just any ore, it is coal ore. We finally found it. I was sure to keep my eye on the bear as I filled up my inventory, which is when I noticed that mining this also gives you mineral oil, which is important for some mods later on. I then took a peek inside the cave and decided not to engage the level 39 mama bear that was there, so I headed off to the pyramid. Once I reached the top, I was given a beautiful view of the terrain and mountains before me and the swamp that lied behind me. This view let us see a large set of ruins in the distance, so awfully similar to the magical portal that we unlocked in the jungle. As I was on my way to investigate it, I was sidetracked by a Flint Tribe coal mine, and I would clear it out. However, I'm running low on arrows and my blades are nearly broken, so I grabbed the nodes that were outside as silently as I could with the sun setting, and then set off for the ruins once more, wolves howling in the distance. One thing that I am glad that I did though is I had a peek at the recipe for iron armor, and I saw that they require premium animal parts, which you get from elite creatures, so that's another thing on the to-do list. I managed to arrive at the ruins that we spotted and got it activated, and saw that I could now teleport to the one in the rainforest. All it cost was a little bit of mask energy. So we set off, arriving back at the safety of Rapid River's walls at midnight. So you bet your sweet Bippy we loaded the blast furnace up on day 83 with enough coal ore to last for the remaining adventure. And it was time to get to work. I began by making a worktop, which allowed me to finally make the food that I originally got the quinoa and fish for. This is seafood quinoa rice, and it's on the menu. It provides a greater XP boost than the porridge. With this nutritious meal boosting our strongest characters, it was time to put them to work to level up. Treasure was set to make carbon powder, Terra charcoal for that process, and Twilight was set to make bronze ingots. While we waited for this to complete, I maxed out the memory unit for the bow and upgraded mask hardening one more time. Up next, I managed to craft this brewing stand upgrade, and with it added to the table, I was now able to make plant essence, which is a healing potion that removes 60% poison from the body. But my plan to beat the fog frog doesn't stop there, as I mix some of those with guava, mushrooms, and phosphorus powder to make antidotes, which will improve poison resistance drastically. In this grinding session, I noticed that our strongest members seem to be capped at level 50, so I assumed that that is just the limit. So assuming this, Treasure is max level, however, she is the best character I have to smelt ingots, and with that, get the most out of that process. So in the evening, she was designated to smelt all of our iron into ingots at long last, to make the most out of it. While iron was being smelted on day 84, I decided to possess Terra, and with her made some turkey feed as I went on out to look for another turkey, as the two that I have are males, so I am hoping for a female. I also used this time to level up Terra's bow skills for the upcoming battles. Here I caught a turkey at around noon and brought it back home and placed it in the coop. And thankfully, it is a female, so our plan was a success. I had a look at the iron weapon and armor blueprints and decided to learn the great bow, blade, dual blades, and shield. Up next, I wanted to make a whole set of iron tools, however I needed to upgrade the craftsman bench, and this took quite a while, but I was so happy that I got that deer skin some days ago, as it's needed to make premium leather, which I need for this plan. But the one to make the leather would be Thor, since he's actually pretty good at it, so for once he's actually useful. While he was working on that, some iron ingots were ready, and with it some wire was made. All of this led to the upgrading of the craftsman bench in the late evening, and here I was able to make a full set of iron tools. I then whipped up some more seafood for breakfast and took control of Treasure on day 85, for she is the best at making weapons and armor in the tribe, although if I'm being honest, she's pretty much the best at absolutely everything. And that's because every character has the potential to reach a cap of every single proficiency, and her caps just happen to be really high. So my goal was to level her up enough in armor and weapon crafting so that when making iron gear, you get a higher chance of a good quality item. We begin by crafting a ton of big iron arrows, which got me to weapon crafting proficiency level 60. I then spammed a ton of bronze gear to be made till I reached proficiency 90. During the leveling process, I did make some explosive canisters, which might be handy against the frog boss, and got a ton of legendary weapons, which figures that I get these as I'm trying to reach iron tier, but all of these will be great as backups in the case of an emergency. But on day 86, I noticed that crafting bronze weapons was just not leveling up my proficiency fast enough, so I switched to making iron weapons for now and hoped for the best. Luckily, the dual blades I made came out as excellent, and the spear came out the same way, but the blade, my boy, it came out as legendary. That is full odds right there. I don't have the iron quality improvement unlocked just yet. Up next was the shield, and it's better than common, so that's good. And lastly, made the great bow, which came out as just fine. These weapons look much more put together though, that's for sure. However, here's where I decided to go all into iron weapon crafting, which is a bit of a gamble because I don't have a lot of it, but I was hoping for better weapon results, even though I don't have the level 90 iron quality improvement unlocked. Yep, again. Oh! And I did end up getting an epic, also epic dual blade. I still have so much iron. Wait a minute. Don't question it. Go all in. There it is. Legendary iron great bow. I knew it. That's the thing. You just gotta keep going. Boy, am I glad that that gamble paid off. I got some great weapons in the process and reached weapon crafting 90. This ensured a 7% quality per craft on iron weapons moving forward. This landed us a really good iron shield. Now only one thing stood out though, and that's these here dual blades. I went for it one more time, one last gamble, and it paid off. We have gone from pretty standard bronze weaponry straight to 2 whole sets of legendary iron weapons. That ended the day on an incredibly high note, as I also added the level 3 bleed mod to my blades, as well as smelted the gold, which allowed the armor table to be upgraded with its second upgrade piece. So day 87 was all about that armor, starting with 2 iron rings as well as necklaces crafted. Then a full bronze set of armor was crafted and slapped onto Terra, and more bandages were made as we were all out. Once that was all done, we were off to hunt elites as Terra, with Treasure in tow, who was set to fighting style defense, so hopefully this would improve her tanking so she would be taking less damage. Our first fight would be against this elite jaguar. These weapons are savage, I do gotta say, and I also tried this canister, but it paid little mind. The enemy was nimble, but these weapons were just absolutely cutting through its health like butter. Having slayed the beast, we were now able to harvest premium claws from its corpse, but there's still many more premium body parts that we need, so we're off to our next target, riding through a rainy night until we got to spot this elite gator. It was a tad difficult to fight, but needless to say, this insane duel obliterated it, landing us some premium fangs as well as some other premium items. So we're on to our next target. On day 88, we traveled to that one elite tortoise that we had found at the sulfur mine. We killed another gator along the way, sure, and gotta say, these fights feel rather easy because Terra unlocked a blood drinking ability to regain HP while in combat. Also, on the way we were sure to eliminate any enemies that came across our paths in order to upgrade our weapon proficiencies. And also, we found another mysterious portal out here in the Prairie Lands, so that's another teleport location unlocked. We did reach the tortoise at around noon time and engaged it in combat, but I gotta say, this thing is tanky.
Why are you dancing on fire, Treasure? Come on, help out.
The positive of this fight, at least, is that it really helped to safely level our weapon proficiencies. And at this point, night was setting in and the tortoise just kept healing, so we had to retreat and come up with a new plan. And on day 89, I was so glad that we had so many legendary bronze weapons at the ready as backups because the blades were just not doing the trick. But maybe this hammer would. And sure enough, it did the trick. Slaying the tortoise got us some premium turtle shells, just enough in fact to craft what we need. Up next was this elite boar in a cave, and I was hoping to get some pieces to the puzzle from it, but well, I kind of was hoping to get horns, and it doesn't have horns, so yeah, I didn't really get nothing of use. The only other creature that I have seen with horns so far are bison, but I haven't seen an elite yet. But I guess it's worth a try to go look for one, so we headed on out to check the herd. Thanks to the portal, we traveled to the wetlands and moved north after that. This path led me to the wet redwoods biome with massive trees, even seeing elephants down there. But there is danger afoot in the form of this bear that I spotted, and of course I wanted to see how I would match up against one because I hadn't fought one till now. Thankfully, it got stuck, which is fine. I could level my bow this way safely, and the exciting thing is that upon slaying it, I was able to get premium claws and pelt. So having slayed this new beast, I got a little bit confident and wanted to tussle with some elephants, but not this elite right in front of me. Nope, I'm gonna skedaddle back a little bit, trace back my steps. I would shoot a normal elephant from a safe distance just to see how tanky it was, and yeah, that is a no-go. Treasure, we gotta go. The cool thing is our escape led us to some bison, which is exactly what I wanted to kill, so I engaged it, and sure, it has a charge attack, but it's easy enough to dodge. As I was fighting it, I managed to unlock Top Hunter, and to my surprise, I got the last premium item that I needed, premium sharp horns. It didn't even have to be an elite apparently. There was, however, one less thing that I needed to do on this outing. We need more iron, so off we go to the Centipede Cave. Eventually, at mid-morning of day 90, we reach the pyramid, and it is indeed that of the Vajra Abe. I checked the summoning altar and found that it'll need all sorts of cooked foods, of which I should be able to make all of them without issue. That's some crucial knowledge acquired to save on time. One thing I gotta mention while we're still up here is this game is absolutely stunning, but man, I really wish I have some parachutes right now to get down. It was first in the afternoon when I began to clean up some of the centipedes in order to get to that sweet iron. But this was no easy task as they are quite strong and a lot of my armor pieces had been broken by now due to prior engagements just to get here. But here's where I began to use my noggin because when they're not aggroed onto you, they're not all that fast. So I lured them out of the cave and that seems to have done the trick. I was able to harvest some of the iron nodes like this and constantly had to retreat whenever they got too close. Cause man, the swarm was relentless, but so was I. I used the bow to my advantage and sniped some of the creepy crawlers from this rock. But for safety reasons, I decided to swap to Treasure now that the cave was a tad more liberated as she has better mining levels anyway. I could see that the swarm was making its way up as I was gathering the last few in this area, so that was my cue to run for it. We just might have enough ore to craft what we need. So on the morning of day 91, it was time to head back home, and on the way, I noticed that Terra unlocked a new bow skill. It depends on which bow you are using, but in the case of the great bow that I'm using, it allows arrows to pierce through enemies, which is incredibly sick. It was at sunrise when I reached the nearest teleporter, so from there I safely made it back to the jungle, and upon reaching my home base, I got right to work smelting that ore. Once they were done, I slapped another quinoa seafood onto Treasure and began the process of making iron gear. Once a bit of over 50 iron chainmail was produced, I turned to the butcher table. There I got premium thick hide from the elite alligator chunks. These premium hide pieces were turned into premium thick leather on day 92. Then it was time to get some yarn made, which eventually got turned into fine cotton. This process was very tedious and time consuming, but thankfully, Thor was helping me out with the leather. Talia was making sure lime was being produced as well, as I'm going to need a little bit of that down the line. It was first at sundown when I could finally get to work crafting armor, so to end off the day, I began making some iron gloves as well as some pants to start. It was on day 93 when I made a ton of unnecessary bronze and a few iron pieces to level up to level 90 armor crafting, which allows an iron gear quality increase. I then finally made the final iron pieces, anxious as to what I would be getting. 2 epic chest pieces, which is not bad at all, so no legendary pieces, but it is very satisfying to have 2 exactly equal iron sets. It's a sign, I'll take it, we're set. These got slapped onto Treasure, as well as Terra, as they are our main characters, and I do gotta say we're looking like a straight up menace. As this duo, we will have revenge for Tom and Thomas upon the Fog Frog. So in preparation for this fight, I got to remaking some poison mods, and then had a few more preparations up my sleeve, some special food that I want Treasure to have for the fight that is to come. I used some rare fresh meat, some refined salt and cooking oil to make some rare fried steak. This will have Treasure tanking harder than ever before. To make sure the special food would not decay on me, I did make an ice cooler to keep it fresh, but sadly, it needs ice, as the name suggests, so that's a shame. There is the snow biome where I'm sure you get the ice from, but there's absolutely no way I'm ready for that just yet. It was on day 94 where Treasure and Terra were fully equipped for battle. At this stage of the game, there is barely anything we could do to improve, so we likely got this in the bag. So it's time to hop into that portal, breach the Frog Temple, apply food and drink buffs, smite the minions, and summon their overlord. So at daybreak, our battle for vengeance commenced.
Go get him. Holy crap, it's so much damage. I don't know where Treasure is, but... Oh, is Treasure inside his belly? Yeah, it looks like it. But she's tanking it, she's actually healing. Let's go! That was actually pretty sweet. I got to shoot him just because he was just sitting there, digesting. Okay, let me see if I can heal her. Oh, no, she might go down. I'm trying to heal her. Oh, that's the end of Treasure. All right, it's Dual Blades time. Okay, try and bleed him out. Okay, that's it. Yep, done. Perfect kill. It came at the sacrifice of Treasure, but we finally beat this boss. I'm so glad. Honestly, rest in peace, Treasure. Absolute MVP right there. In pretty much any video I've ever made, Treasure is always going to be remembered somehow. Treasure's become a treasure in my heart.
Now able to enter the Frog Temple, atop the center pedestal, I activated it and unlocked Data Update 2. With it, I got Body Enhancement 2, so all of our characters should be physically improved. And also, I'm now able to activate Mimicry, which allows me to analyze weak spots, which is perfect for my bow. But before I left, I did notice 2 special chests in the pyramid with loot. Sadly, I didn't open these back at the Saber Temple. Whoopsie daisies, but we're getting these ones now, and that's what matters. As I was teleporting back to the rainforest in the evening, I thought to myself, we might have what it takes to finally uncover the mysteries that lie within the Plunderer ruins that we saw so long ago. For this siege, I decided that Thor would be accompanying me, because he's actually pretty high level, but I want to save Twilight for the Vajra 8 because she's actually my highest level. As for his gear, obviously he's getting the spare iron set. As for his weapon though, I gave him this hammer and added the Coma Mod 3 that I got from the Fog Frog, so he should hit like a freaking truck. And thankfully on day 95, I remembered that I don't need the poison resistance mods anymore, so I did a switch out. I replaced those mods with the Defense Mod 2, an upgraded version of the mod used against the Saber. It was during this grind that I reached max level mask hardening, as well as unlocked a few more memory units, so it was first at noon where we rode to battle. The last time we were here, they barely took a dent from my bronze greatbow, so fingers crossed things will be different this time. Oh, we are dealing considerable amounts of damage. Forget hitting like a truck, we're a freaking freight train.
Oh, goddamn Thor.
We ran through this plunderer-infested maze, and it did get tight a few times, but we still managed considerably well.
Thor smash. Rush, rush, go, 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 go. Storm the gates. Smash. Yeah, thank you, my boy.
I gotta say though that this place really is like a labyrinth. Moving around is getting a little bit confusing. All I know at this point though is that Thor is Timothy incarnate. I mean, just look at him go! We continued to plunder the plunderers left and right straight into day 96, which is when I reached a center point with a totem inside, which I read, and it gave me some tech points, and as for the unlocked text, it mentions a triangle being the totem of the gods, which represents supreme power, yet no mortal has the ability to master it. Sounds like a clue as to the origin of the masks, if you ask me. All I do know is though that there's a plunderer elite right in front of me. He is quite a bit tougher than the grunts we've faced till now, so I did have to play it safe at a distance, although he did end up falling down the rooftop by using his own skill, so I eventually took him out and pressed on. A rainstorm began to set in, setting the mood nicely for the battle that is to come, which would be against the Plunderer Leader that I found shortly after, and thankfully, I was smart enough to swap up my dual blades as mine were close to breaking. As for the fight itself, it went incredibly well. Thor did a splendid job keeping the boss in place.
Thor has earned his place at my side.
Having killed the boss granted me a full set of legendary bronze armor, but most importantly, a new mask. Inside the table, I activated another pedestal, which granted me a mysterious stone table. As for the large supply chests, there were ingots, mods, and premium animal pieces inside. And yeah, so needless to say, we were quite encumbered by this haul, so getting out took its sweet time. And just like how Terra got a divine skill, the one with the great bow shooting through enemies, well, Thor actually got so strong in this fight that he got a divine earth-splitting attack. As soon as we got back to Rapid River, I placed down the stone table that we had gotten, and here we can see tons of unique mask designs. All of them have a unique skill set. One of them actually looks like a bird too, and the final one looks like a straight up robot, which has me thinking all sorts of things of the origin of these masks. There's still so much for me to discover. All I could understand from this stuff was that there's a ton of high level complexity items yet to be discovered to create a whole ton of high tech gear. In the evening, I got to repairing my legendary dual blades to end things off. Due to all this new information, my curiosity was piqued on day 97. I just had to figure out what was inside the Holy Ruins, so I was cooking up a plan. Literally, I was cooking up premium poison for my arrows. The reason being is that I think my current mask benefits from poison arrows, but I quickly came to realize that poison cannot be added to big arrows, so I'm assuming they can only be used for normal arrows. Whoopsie daisy. And no, I did not forget about the new mask we got from the Plunderer Leader, and turns out it's one of the 3 original ones that you can get when you make your character, this one being that of a healer class, but I didn't switch out because I was really set into my current build on my current mask being a bow user. With all that out of the way, it was time for Thor and I to set out to the Holy Ruins, which, again, we could not find the other day. If we manage to find it, maybe there Thor can level up quite a bit before the final fight with the Vajra Ape. Considering I couldn't see it back then at a high altitude, I decided to go low this time. I followed the river, and I did find some suspicious plunderers in a cave behind a waterfall, so Thor and I readied up and made our way on in. The enemies here seem to be about at the same level as those that we faced at the Plunderer Temple where we got the mask, so this exploration wasn't too bad. As for this dungeon dive, the deeper we went, more ruins began to appear, and with that, more heavily guarded things became.
Whoa! What the fuck? Hey! Hello?
This elite here was, as you can see, quite peculiar in his battle style, beating Thor to a bloody pulp I might add, so I rushed to kill the elite and managed to save him just in time. I also used my class ability to heal him up quite effectively. The loot here was interesting, gave us some nitrate ore that I haven't seen before, and I gotta say these tunnels are quite extensive, so exploring everything took quite some time. This continued into day 98 until we reached a massive cavern with a whole freaking pyramid inside of it. This place must have some good loot, or even better, information on the origin of the masks. So he pressed on. Somehow though, Thor got full killed by the Plunderer Elite here, leaving me to handle the rest by myself. You will be remembered, Thor, I promise you that. I tried my best to press forward on my own, but this place is proving to be too much for little old me. It's just littered with enemies, and my weapons aren't getting any more durable. I was using too many supplies. So my only real choice here was to retreat, because I have both of my best armor sets on me right now, and if I die here, there's almost no guarantee that I'm going to get them back for the final fight. Once I was outside and considering my current location, I thought to myself I'm going to have to repair my gear anyways with iron, so I scaled some wooden ramps onto this ledge here to eventually find my way to the iron deposit that I had found the first time in the afternoon hours. Here I harvested some up and then made my journey back to Rapid River in the late afternoon. As soon as I got home in the early hours of day 99, I got Terra to iron smelting because I need this ready as soon as possible because we're running out of time. I began to control Twilight and made some seafood quinoa rice, as I'm going to train her up for her shield and sword proficiencies. I did try to kill this Anaconda to level up, but it pulled out some moves that I have never seen before. Apparently, it has a one-shot ability on a max level character, which just so happens to kill my second highest ranking recruit. Oh boy, that is a problem. So, backup plan. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Talia, you're up. I know I just said Talia, but in my haste, I actually controlled Titania. So I had been leveling up the wrong character for quite some time until I realized this and began to control Talia. So yeah, this wasted a ton of crucial time, but at least Talia has a defendability, so if she uses it, she might come and protect me in battle. I did everything in my power to boost Talia's levels with what little time we had left. Day 100, the final push is upon us. Thanks to all the grinding that we did, Talia got static recovery, which is actually pretty good as a healing ability. So that's one positive at least. I also made this mysterious potion in a last-ditch effort to reallocate points for better tanking, but couldn't do anything with it. It seems completely useless. I'm not quite sure how to use this, so in case anyone figures this out in the base game, let me know. This is a shame though, because this character is mainly built to be a two-hand fighter, not a tank, so we will just have to make do, I suppose. I did my best to continue leveling Talia in the early morning, but there's just no more time to keep boosting. Having both Terra and Talia as ready as can be considering our circumstances, while controlling Terra, we headed out to the Vajra Ape Temple at noon, but of course we used the portals to cut down travel time. As I'm galloping to the whooping of a lifetime, I want to give a big thank you to our patrons and YouTube channel members for the monthly support, which I am incredibly grateful for, as it is a very kind gesture wanting to help the channel out, so thank you very much, my lovelies. And at long last, we made it! It was time for the final battle. Even Private Princess would be a part of this, hopefully as a distraction. With everything prepared, it was time for the final showdown.
Okay, I've heard terrifying stories of you, my friend. Level 40, almighty Vajra Ape. Okay, Talia, you know what? I know we barely know each other, so I don't really feel bad about sending you to your death. So go right ahead. No. Keep going. Okay. Yo! Whoa! Look at that damage! Come on, Talia. Come on. Because he's angry at me now, because only I've hit him till now. Whoa. Okay. Whoa! Dear Lord, he is... Whoa! Did you just throw her out of the arena? Try heal. No, here. I'm trying to heal you. There you go. I used my healing ability on her. Not that that matters, though, but it's something. I tried. Whoa! Oh! I tried to dodge that. I tried my best. Oh my gosh. Holy hell. He is a menace. I can't even get any hits on him. Uh-oh. Look at that, how much that did me. Oh my god. There, Talia, do your job. I'm gonna try and heal you. Oh no, okay, well, I don't think I can heal you out of that. No, dead. Is that the Hulk smash? She's already dead! Is that... No. No. There's absolutely no way I can beat this thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to beat this guy, but whatever I have on me is definitely not going to work. Oh! Talia's alive! Whoop! Oh, I almost dodged that boulder. Oh! Oh no, I'm down. Holy crap. Talia, I'm so sorry. The one time I take you with me, it's for this. Oh my gosh. I also think Private Princess is dead by now. I'm still trying to res though. Am I gonna revive? I actually do. Here. Oh no. I tried to heal her with my ability, but it's just, there's no dice. That's yeah, no, that's full death. That is absolutely ridiculous. Oh. Okay, no, this is it. This is it. There's no way I can beat this absolute freak of nature by myself. Look at that. This is the best gear I could make. It doesn't even tickle him. Woo! Oh boy. Yeah, boy. Plant essence. Oh my god. Healing. Oh my gosh. Alright. That's it. That's it. Ah, absolutely torn to shreds. I didn't stand the slightest semblance of a chance. Are you seriously gonna leave me to bleed to death? Am I gonna be able to out-heal this again? I've out-healed death a second time. Okay. So I don't know what I should be doing. I really don't. So, you know what? We're just gonna have one final go at it. Bleeding shot on him. You know what? Fight me. We're back to square one, everybody. That does it. That definitely does it.
Well, here we are, my lovelies. That concludes my first ever attempt at playing SoulMask. And man, it's crazy to think about that there's even more boss fights later on. But if I'm looking back on the journey as a whole, I do think that this game has some serious potential because it does strike key notes of many survival games while throwing its own twist into the mix with the whole tribe mechanics and being able to control other characters. So I do think that if the opportunity presents itself down the line, I might have a crack at another 100 days with the boys to see how far we can get as a team. But with all that being said, thank you Cool End Games for sponsoring this video, and thank you so very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.